Hello everyone. I am Lonee Appleton. I am a healthy family advocate. What that means is I advocate for the health and wellness of families, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, all the ease. I advocate for that from the inside out. I believe we're erroneously trying to change ourselves from the outside in, but change happens from the inside out. As within, so without. A wise woman once said. I apologize for being late. Welcome, opulence. I love that. My alarm went off, but you know what? I didn't hear it. And it's funny because I know this is divinity because my internal alarm clock went off at noon. My internal alarm went off at noon, and I was like, okay, I'm up, but my alarm's not going off, so let me go ahead and take care of some things that I could take care of before 12 o'clock. And I laid there because I'm like, okay, I got time. And then something inside of me said, look at what, no, actually it wasn't something that said, it was just like, okay, let me pick up my phone and start doing the things that I need to do. Hey, Meme Love, welcome to the live. And I looked at my phone and it said 12:04. I was like, damn, I am not early. I'm actually late. So I'm late today. I apologize. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Welcome to the live. I'm Lonee Appleton. This is my life as a classroom where I talk about what's going on in my life and using those things as teachable moments. We also speak from the comment section. So I love when you guys are communing together and sharing in the comments. Welcome, talking to each other. We build community over here, so you guys have to get to know each other. As you get to know me, and as you get to know each other, you get to know me, then we grow as a community. Yes. So what can we talk about? I kicked the wall while playing VR, and I kept watching my foot because I was just like, I kicked the out of that wall when I was playing VR, but I didn't see any changes with my foot. But today when I was in the bathroom, I looked down at my foot and my second toe is just bruised to all hell. Thank you for the love. Thank you. It's just bruised to all hell. So I really did a number on myself kicking while playing VR. I don't know why I kicked so hard. First of all, I was boxing, so I shouldn't have been kicking at all. But you know me, I'm going to do what I want to, even though Spirit said stop kicking. I was like, I'm going to keep kicking. So when I knocked him down and he was down on the ground, I kicked him. I kicked the shit out of him too. I know I did because I kicked the wall. And it hurt. So imagine stubbing your toe, but imagine stubbing 4 of your toes at the same time. It was that pain that shoots through your body where you're just like, oh my God, and you feel it in your ears. Like the toe pain, I feel it in my ears. And my head starts like boom, boom, boom. That's what the pain felt like. But I didn't see any damage. I just couldn't bend my toes. For the past 3 days, I haven't been working out because I haven't wanted to re-injure myself. I was like, okay, respect the toes. But I was like, I don't see any damage. But yeah, they're bruised. One of them are really bruised. And I'm going to start working out again today. So I am not going to allow, and perhaps this was the universe coming around because we always talk about cycles here. Bashar talks about the universe, and we always just like challenges. Things, those of us who understand, we understand that something's going to come back around. As we grow and we evolve and we change and we put out into the universe, this is something that I want to experience. This is something I want to evolve from. The universe is like, okay, let's play this game. And the more connected you are to source, soon as you put a request out there, the answer is going to start coming in. You know what I'm saying? I'm connected to source enough that if I put an intention out there, immediately, sometimes I get an answer. It may take a few hours. Yesterday, I said I wanted to figure out why every time me and my husband have an argument and something is said or done that offends me, I immediately go to separation. Whether it's physical separation, whether it's I remove myself emotionally from you so you don't have access to me, or it's, last time it was financial separation because he said that what I'm doing is dumb. And I was like, okay, well, when the finances start coming in from this dumb stuff, you just don't look to be a part of it. Okay, sir? Since it's dumb. We have since had a conversation about that, and he was able to explain himself further. But in that moment, I was like, well, shoot, what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours, and we'll keep it that way from now on, even though he pretty much finances my entire life right now. But, I'm going to draw a line in the sand that he don't know about and make an ultimatum, even though I'm reaping the benefits of him right now. But he can't reap the benefits of me because he said what I'm doing is stupid. I love my husband. My husband is my best friend. Regardless of what the world sees, regardless what anyone outside of me sees, my husband is the perfect match for me. Because I have identified him as someone who is my best friend, is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. And my husband's faults, in my opinion, are all things that he can overcome if he chooses to overcome them. I cannot force him to overcome those faults. I can point them out and he can acknowledge them and he can choose to overcome them. And if he chooses, then we'll continue on. I am in the space. Thank you for shutting the door behind you. Good job. I am in the space where, those of you who aren't familiar with me, just know that if I'm recording, then there's a light that's on. So pay attention to where you're stepping, and that will keep you from kicking my light off going forward. Those of you who aren't familiar with me, I'm Lonee Appleton. I am a healthy family advocate. I advocate for the health and wellness of families. I love you too. I advocate for the health and wellness of families because I saw what I was doing with my own family. And I knew that it wasn't. Bye. I knew that it wasn't conducive with putting. You have a day because. Thank you. I hope you have a great whatever you just wished to me as well. I realized what I was doing with my family was not conducive with family success. And so I started making changes within my family. And when I started making changes within my family, I realized my family started moving together and agreeing together and looking better, feeling better. The kids want to come home. My husband wants to come home. My husband went from, being, I'm watching the game and all these different things because he doesn't want to come home. What did you want, some Mio?
Yeah. Do that on Mio.
Yeah, it's called Mio, but it's almost gone. There you go. Go start that up. My husband went from not wanting to come home to now he comes home because the energy and everything's different. My kid went from, my favorite place is school to I like being home. And my other kid went from not wanting to be on this earth anymore because her family makes her miserable to, she's a part of the family and learning how to use her voice. So I realized all of these things that were happening within my family, and I stopped accepting that this was the norm just because it was the norm. Just because something's the norm does not mean that you need to accept it. So when your spouse is coming to you and suggesting change because they have come in contact with some information, that let them know that the things that we have accepted as status quo doesn't need to be our status quo. We can live beyond existing. We can live beyond the influence. And what the influence is, black culture. Black culture is toxic. It's beautiful. It's fun. It gives me a good laugh. It gives me a good laugh to see, people running each other and pulling receipts. I'm like, oh yeah, get them put together. It gives me a good laugh to see somebody get red. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, you got them. Yes, come through. It gives me a good laugh, but at the end of the day, all of that is lower vibrational energy. So everything that is fed to us and glamorized to us, chasing money, being superficial, for the love of money. Money is the root of all evil. Money in itself, I believe, is not the root of all evil, but chasing money, the pursuit of money, using money as a tool of manipulation, hiding behind money. You are not developing your character. You are not becoming the best human you could possibly be. You are not treating others well because you have money. All of us are out here chasing people with money. All of us are pursuing money because we want to gain attention and recognition from the money. When we truly can gain attention and recognition from ourselves if we chose to develop ourselves. But we're not taught to develop ourselves. We're not encouraged to develop ourselves. We're encouraged to get money. I'm looking in the comment section of some video where somebody is, having some sort of difficulty. I don't remember the context, but somebody was like, man, be quiet, get money. Like money is the answer to everything. But then we look at these rich people and these wealthy people and they're taking themselves out. Why? Because money is not the answer. Money becomes such an insulation that you can't even say that you have problems, because people who are in the pursuit of money and are under the illusion that money is the answer and the route to happiness is money. When you do have money, you can no longer acknowledge that you're unhappy, because people are like, what are you complaining about? You got money. So we have been placed in a space where we are disillusioned to believe that money is the answer to all of our problems. Money can be pervasive and abused just like everything else. Money can be used as a mask to shield just like everything else. So we pursue these external things to bring internal gratification. But all of these external things, they're just something else that we pile on ourselves to try to make ourselves feel better, because we refuse to do the internal work. And it's the internal work that is going to please us and fulfill us and give us purpose in this lifetime. So yeah, the conclusion to the fight that I had with my husband, usually when me and my husband have a fight and, I say the things that I say and he says the things that he says, we're no longer fighting dirty, but things can get said in the moment. My husband was frustrated that he wanted to come in his room, and all he did after being at work all day, standing on his feet all day, all he did was come in his bedroom. And when he came into his bedroom, hey, Pat, when he came into his bedroom, I yelled at him. And so he got upset, rightfully so. Because all he wants to do is come home and relax, and he can't. And then he comes in his room again, and he's just simply talking, and he gets yelled at again, and then he reacts, and he says what he says. And in saying what he says, it's just like, well, that's offending to me, so now I immediately come to separation. And it came to me last night in my live. That's why when Spirit tells you to do something, you should listen. Because when I was in the live before, the day before, and I started the Sister Support Network. Let me show y'all my cute little labels that I made for my network. Hold on. Y'all know I'm over here with the wing and the prayer, so y'all don't judge my makeshiftiness. But look at my cute little labels. It's for my Sister Support Network. So this is actually an old logo that I had made when I was a scroll saw artist. So I had to crop out the bottom and the sides and everything. Thank you, Pat. Thank you for the love. So I just took her, which is me. She's supposed to have locks, but those aren't locks. But I took her and cropped her in, and then I just wrote the Sister Support Network on there. And it works. Who knows what our logo will look like? Hey, Meta! Who knows what our logo is going to look like years from now? But that is my Sister Support Network. This is one of my books that's going out to an individual who has agreed to review one of my books on my behalf. Those of you who aren't familiar with the Sister Support Network, it is where sisters who have small businesses and they want to link up with another small business and exchange their product so that each other can review it for each other and introduce your product to a new audience. And I have a couple women who are in agreement, and I have sent out a couple of books, and I have product that's coming to me, and I'm really, really excited for the possibilities. And for the individuals who are joining in the Sister Support Network, it can stop at us or it can continue to grow. As you realize that someone is gang, because what's going to happen is we will send stuff to some people and they won't send stuff back, or we will send stuff to people and they won't post their review. The workaround that I got about that was I was like, I'm going to tell you about this journal. I bought this journal because a woman that I met here on TikTok named Ree Scott, she wrote this journal. And when she messaged me and she's like, girl, I'm so excited. I accomplished something. She said, I set a goal of completion. I set a goal of not quitting on myself. She was like, I wrote a book. And so many times during writing this book, I wanted to quit and I wanted to stop. Well, this journal. I wanted to quit and I wanted to stop on myself, but I kept pushing myself forward. And I was like, I'm done quitting on myself. I'm done quitting on myself. I'm done quitting on myself. Which is crazy when she said that to me, because I'm in a season of I'm done quitting on myself as well. I am done telling myself like, and that's the thing with the workout. I damn near broke my toes kicking the wall while I was playing VR, and I've taken 3 days off. I've taken 3 days off because I want to let my foot heal. I know when we're doing something and we come across some sort of obstacle or some sort of, some whatever, impediment, whatever, we come across those, hey, Vaughn, and then we use that as an excuse to stop. And so I was like, I haven't worked out for 2 or 3 days. Is that my excuse that I'm using this time to quit on myself? And I said, no, I'm about to get back in the mix. I am done quitting on myself. So when Ree came to me and she said she set the goal of not quitting on herself, and she was able to complete this because this was the task that she set before herself to not quit on. That makes this journal that much more powerful to me, because it's not just something that she did. It's something that she pushed herself to do. Is there an echo? I don't know. Not on my side. Do you guys hear the echo? Meta, Pat, do you hear the echo? And so I got this book, and when I was reading it, and I read one of the prompts that talked about getting in touch with your inner child. And so when I read that on my live earlier that day, I was just like, I didn't make any connection. I just did my selling point where I was making the video. Actually, I did it in the video. I was just making the selling point that, it's good to get in touch with your inner child. All the things that made us happy and brought us joy as a child, all the things that brought us joy as a child, those were the simpler times. Before we started creating a life in order to function in society, we just moved in our bliss, if our parents allowed, and within the parameters that were available to us. My bliss was going in the backyard and playing in the mud. I could play in the mud for hours, create little, figurines and stuff like that, and see things. I've always seen patterns. My grandmother had this, I was going to say furry, but it's velvet textured pattern wallpaper in the bathroom, because we moved into my father's childhood home after he got out of the service and got a divorce. We moved into my father's childhood home, and it was stuck in the 70s, right? And in the bathroom, she had this velvety wallpaper, and it had all these different designs on it. And so I'm looking at all these different designs while I'm in the bathroom, whatever I'm doing in the bathroom, doesn't matter. I'm looking at these patterns. And I'm like, oh, there's this and there's that. So like they have the people who look up at the clouds and see the different patterns. I look at the world and I see patterns. So I would always have so much fun just in the background or in the backyard, just playing in the mud by myself in my bliss. So when Ree says in her journal, what is something that brought you joy as a child? Go do it. I should go play in the mud, because that really brought me a lot of joy. And I was grounding myself and didn't even know it. I was grounding myself. Someone told me when I got a reading done, there's a young lady here. I'm going to do a video for her. She I don't know if she does readings anymore. I'll have to check with her before I do a video, because she says she sells crystals. But still, I'll tap in with her, because she's a sis out here who offers a product and a service, and I'll see if she'll be interested in being a part of the network. But she did a reading for me. I've had readings in my life where, some things, how you can make meaning. You could derive meaning from everything, right? If you try, I can make this notebook have purpose. You know what I'm saying? So we can create a narrative if we choose. I've had a couple readings where I'm just like, okay, I see it. But this reading that this woman gave me, I wonder if this is the reading right here. No, this isn't it. These are show notes. I usually keep it in my journal. I keep her reading in my journal because every once in a while I go back to her reading and I'm like, wow, this is happening right now. It's not in here. I don't know what happened to it. I could just print it off again so it's not lost. But the version that I had actually has my notes in the margin. And I'm just curious if it's gone. You guys can still hear my voice though. But this reading that this lady gave me was so on point. I don't know what happened to it, but it was so on point. And it had like a timeline to it. It was like in 6 months, in a year, you and your husband, you're gonna do these, you're gonna do these, And she introduced me to my spirit team. She said you have 3 or 4 guides. It's either 3 females and 1 male or 2 females and 1 male. I know the number 3 is in there somewhere, which is one of my divinity numbers. And so it's like she was on point. And I believe that reading, or I know I received that reading as one of the key factors in why I keep pushing forward. Because in January, at the beginning of the year, when I got that reading, was when all of this started. When all of this was starting, it started in December. I didn't know what it was. I started with 9 followers. I started with 9 followers and I was posting content because I wanted to show people moments. I wanted people to stop taking moments for granted. Our kids playing. Be quiet. No, stop and watch the joy of children playing. Tap into your inner child. If you could tap into your inner child, then you can relate to your children. And so I wanted to show moments of Dre spending time with his children. So men who feel that spending time with their children is a waste of time and, there's something else to do with themselves. Maybe they could watch Dre spending time with his children and see that there's value in that. There's joy in that. They could see a man that they admire actually enjoying doing something they'd like to enjoy. We are all group thinkers, men more so than women, and so they could see another man doing something. That something inside of them says, this is something I probably should be doing too. And then they see a man and they see it looks fun. And so now they're being more engaged. And I know that has happened, not from my content in itself, but because I speak to a woman and she's doing the healing within her family. And she sent me a video of her husband roughhousing with the kids. And she was like, this never happens. But he stopped working. He came upstairs or came down or whatever the dynamic with the office in the house. He stopped working and he came when the kids got home from after school and he's playing with them. Like, that's a moment that them kids can carry into their adulthood. You know what I'm saying? What moments are your children going to take from their childhood into their adulthood? I know the things that I remember from my childhood. Watching The Simpsons with my father. Helping my father wash his, I don't know what it was. Her name was Sativa, but I don't remember what the car was. It wasn't a Cutlass. But, helping him wash his car. My dad loved washing his car and keeping his car clean. You know what I'm saying? My dad teaching me how to ride a bike. Those are the moments that I remember from my childhood. Now, there's a lot of moments that aren't so fond that I remember from my childhood, too. Those left an imprint on me, too. So we have to decide, how are we going to imprint on our children? We have to decide how we're going to imprint on our spouses. When Dre said what he said about my videos and my content and what I'm doing, that imprinted on me, but I know he didn't mean what he meant, so I'm not going to take it to heart. But in the moment, it imprinted on me and it bothered me. And it's going to be something that I probably remember for the rest of my life or our lives together. But it imprinted on me like when Dre was pursuing cosmetology. He didn't go to barber school, which is another reason why I know that we are divine and we came together. Thank you, Vaughn, for the love. We met in cosmetology school. He didn't go to barber school. He didn't want to be a cosmetologist. He wanted to be a barber, but he didn't go to barber school. He went to cosmetology school. I wanted to be a massage therapist, but massage therapy wouldn't allow me to get another student loan. So I went to cosmetology school where they did give me another student loan. That's how we both ended up in cosmetology school. And his then wife, or I'm not sure where she was in his life, bars, but his then wife was like, said to the kids, look at your daddy, he's playing with dolls. I'm not sure why a wife would demean their husband like that, but sometimes we choose wrong. Dre chose wrong. It's not just everybody's like, the female. No, men choose wrong too. Men did. Dre did a decade in an abusive relationship, and they were abusive both ways, verbally, emotionally, physically, everything. They were abusive. Dre would have ended up in prison or in jail. Prison or in the grave, messing around with that woman. And herself, she actually did end up in prison because of her behaviors. But anyway, when she said that to him, that imprinted on him. And to this day, he tells that story. He was trying to pursue his dream and make his vision come to fruition. And the person that should be the biggest supporter in his life, if you can't support your spouse, at least shut up. You know what I'm saying? Let them peacefully pursue whatever it is that they're trying to pursue. Can you imagine if Ree was trying to write this book and she had someone standing over her shoulder saying, "You're wasting your time, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your time. You should be out looking for a job instead of writing that damn book." Could you imagine what energy she would have poured into this? You know what I'm saying? But the fact that she had peace, and the fact that she had perseverance, the fact that she challenged herself to complete this, that's what's in this book. So when you're looking and you're receiving and you're picking up something, know what energy you're picking up. Pray over the stuff you pick up, because that energy is poured into it. I learned about pouring energy into stuff when I was doing art. When I was doing my art pieces, I poured the energy into it. And if it was a memorial piece, I tapped into the energy of the person that passed away. I said, your family member has commissioned this on your behalf. Make this do what it's supposed to do. And many people have came back to me like, how did you know to include this? I did a house for a family, and there was a chair on the front porch. And typically I would have removed the chair. The chair was difficult to do. The chair was another layer on the front porch. And, I want to make my job easier. You asked me to do the house. You didn't ask me to do the chair. But something inside me was like, do the chair. And I did the chair. And when I sent them the house, they said, how did you know to include the chair? My grandfather used to go and sit on the front porch every day in that chair. I was like, I don't know how I knew to do the chair. Your granddaddy told me to do the chair. Another person who commissioned a piece, it was a dad and a daughter, and they were standing in the kitchen, and he was holding a bowl. And while I'm doing the piece, I eliminate everything in the background. I'm just doing the foreground. And for some reason, I include the bowl. When I send her the piece, she's like, she's like, it's so crazy that you included the bowl, because his favorite thing to do was to cook. She was like, he was like a short order cook. Whenever everybody, hello, how are you? Oh, it's so good to see you. TikTok still hating on me, girl. They told me that I have to send them a message through the portal, but in the interim, I have created the Sister Support Network. So maybe it wasn't TikTok shop that I was supposed to be doing, but I started the Sister Support Network, where a Black woman who it has a product or service can contact another Black woman who has a product or service. Well, I don't know how to do the services yet, but has a product, and we exchange them, and we film reviews on behalf of the other one. So that's what we're doing now while I'm still working through TikTok. Those of you who are interested in TikTok shop, Savage or SVG on demand. I don't know why I want to say Savage. SVG, I think it's a beautiful idea, but SVG on demand, she knows TikTok shop in and out. She can teach you how to bank out. Her goal, if I could share this with everybody, her goal is to make $1 million this year off of TikTok shop. Now, she is a screen print. I won't say what she is, but she makes shirts. Like, my merch that I'm wearing right now, 90s Vibes, available at LoneeTaylorArt.com. She makes merch, and she makes shirts, and she makes different things with her SVGs. I'm going to stop trying to say what she does, but what I'm saying is, if you want some dope-ass merch and dope-ass t-shirts, go check her out. If you want to learn how to navigate this TikTok shop, go check her out. This is what we do over here, sir. I mean, I was trying to say your name, Sharika. That's what we do over here, ma'am. I am fumbling because I'm so excited to see you. I don't know why I'm so excited to see you, but I am. But that's what we do over here. And thank you for hopping in. Yes, but what I'm saying is people are eating off of this TikTok shop, and I was trying to connect with her. And she got the energy. She fed into my spirit. She fed into my spirit. So not only was she transferring knowledge to me, she was transferring into me, and she was speaking highly into me. And her service is very affordable. And she gonna get you set up, and she gonna get you right, and she gonna get you that side income so that you can work on your passion in peace. So your spouse can stop looking at you like, stop chasing dreams and make some money. You go make this TikTok shop money real quick on the side, and you continue to pursue your dreams. You know, so me and my husband had our conversation and whatnot. Girl, your vibration bringing us all together. I'm saying. And I don't even care if that little number only says 4. That's 4 people that are supposed to be here at the time that they're supposed to be here. When I tell you, it has always been my vision to bring Black women together. And I don't want to be exclusionary. Everybody can come together. But I have wanted to unite Black women because I am a Black woman. Boom, we got 5 consistently. Yes, Vaughn, and we're up to 2K likes. I thank you so much. This is my vision. This is my dream. And that's why I show up every day. And I apologize for being late today, but I overslept. And a part of me was like, hurry up and get on live. I was rushing for you guys. But then another part of me was like, sis, you make your own hours. Take your time and handle your business. Take care of you, self-care. True selfishness is selflessness. Hey, Sage, took care of myself so that I could take care of you guys. So I didn't have to get on here fumbling and like, no. I still did the things that I planned to do. I got to take my children to their open house. I wanted to show up so you know I'm here. And I appreciate you showing up for me. True selfishness is selflessness. You showed up for me to let me know that you're here. That's beautiful. And that's community. That's what we're building here. And I love it. I love it. I love it. So when I read in this journal to tap into your inner child, you know, I thought it was literal. Tap into your inner child. Go play out in the mud because that's what you enjoyed to do when you were a child. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for the love. Those are my flowers. But then later on that day, I hopped on live because I was having a conversation with my daughter, and, you know, she didn't understand. She was like, why do people want to, hey, Barbara, why are people interested in my life? Why do people care? I was like, yeah, there's going to be a percentage of people who watch us because they're voyeurs and they're just interested in what's going on in other people's lives. And there's nothing wrong with that. The whole internet is voyeuristic. We are literally looking at each other's lives. You know, so there's nothing wrong with that. I was like, but there's another percentage that we're tapping into that are actually learning and growing and evolving. People look at me and my daughter's relationship and they see so many different things. Everybody's not going to see the same thing. But some of the things that people are going to see when they see me and my daughter's relationship is they're going to see a friendship. They're going to see a sisterhood. They're going to see a bond. They're going to see a mother and a daughter able to sit down and have a conversation and there's no conflict. You're going to see a mother and a daughter sitting down and laughing together. And this isn't when I'm in my 50s and my daughter is in her 20s. This is today when my daughter is 18 years old and we've had this relationship since she was 17. Since she was 16. Well, not 16, but definitely since she was 17. But we were moving into the energy and learning how to work together. They're seeing the things that I say in my videos. They're seeing it live action. You know what I'm saying? And then they're listening to what we're talking about. They're listening to the freedom of expression. They're seeing a child who is able to say whatever is on their heart and on their mind to their parent. And they're seeing a parent receptive of it and being able to respond. For some reason, we're under the illusion that we're only supposed to talk about certain topics with our children. But understand, if we are not talking about the topics with our children are going to talk about the topics with someone else. They're going to get the information. And we have to understand that they need to Get the information from us, because we are the only ones, hopefully, that will transfer the information to them in a way that will support them, that will give them information and knowledge and awareness and maneuverability. I'm teaching my daughter how to navigate this life. I'm not teaching my daughter how to survive this life. I'm not teaching my daughter how to exist in this life. I'm teaching my daughter how to navigate this life. And you have to determine what you want to transfer to your children, what you want to transfer to your spouse, because every interaction here on this situation, on this live, like Pat said, we're coming together. My energy is bringing all of you guys together so that you guys can now grow your network, so that you guys can now feel less alone. There is a member within our community. I posted a video. It's really tot. It's really .tot. I had to take a drink to remember her username. I posted a video. It's like my third video down. She's on the edge, y'all. She's barely living. And just like my friend here, Miss Barbara, who had the courage to get on the internet and say, hey, I'm struggling. It's really .tot got here on the internet and said, I'm really struggling. She was like part 2 of the reasons why I don't want to be here anymore. She is filming videos. She is crying out. And I don't care if sis is crying wolf, just like I cry wolf every time I talk about getting a divorce. Just because I'm crying wolf, please know, every woman, and y'all can speak to it because I've never been divorced, but I believe, because I've watched it happen multiple times, every woman who has gotten a divorce, or every man, but I don't talk to men like that, but every woman who has gotten divorced or person, y'all got me so messed up with trying to make me not be exclusionary. It's frustrating in the respect that I cannot give a caveat to everything. So everybody feels included. Just know I'm not being exclusive. But every woman that has gotten a divorce has threatened it before she did it. So for those of you who are like, oh, she's threatening again. Oh, she's threatening again. Yeah, because we're working our way up to doing it. So when I saw our community member, when I saw our friend out here struggling, and she's recording videos because she has no one tangible in her network, no one physically in her network where she can reach to them, which is also something we need to pay attention to. Why are we surrounded by people that we cannot tell that we don't want to be here anymore? Why are we not able to be a support to someone who comes to us and says they don't want to be here anymore? We need to work on that. We need to work on our connectivity, going to our friends and our family and saying, hey, are you okay? And not topically, are you okay? No, spiritually, are you okay? Is there something that I can do for you to help you? So anyway, I'm talking about it's really .tot here. My third video down, I believe. It's a stitch. If you have it in your heart, please click on that video, go to her page, because at the end of her video, she says she has no one to talk to. There's no one in her life to tell her it's going to be okay. I want us to be in her life, to go to her and tell her it's going to be okay, because we have all been through it. We are all going through it. Whatever it is, we have all been through it, and we all have figured a way out. And Tot, you too will figure a way out. And we can help. Yes, dear.
With the Ninja Turtle?
Yes, it's a Ninja Turtle car.
It's a Michael?
You know it's Michael's.
I don't know.
You know because you said, is it Michael's? You already know. You're just trying to be in the scene. In scene. Great job. Back out, please. Mommy's talking.
I love you.
I love you too. If you feel you're at an unfamiliar beginning. Oh, that is beautiful. Go put that in her comment, Pat. If you feel you're at an unfamiliar beginning. When you start losing stuff, when I tell you this is why. When I first started talking about my financial situation, I was like, I don't want people to feel like I'm out here begging. I don't want people to feel like I'm out here, trying to set up a scam to get something from people. I don't want people, but Spirit kept saying share, share, share. And I was like, okay, I'm going to share. I'm going to share the depths of it. I'm going to share that, we looking at repossession. I'm going to share we're looking at eviction. Every month we've made our rent. Hamdulillah. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to share that, we got 3 vehicles, but 2 of them we can't drive because either the payment's behind or it's broken down. And the only vehicle that we do have access to, my husband rents for Toro, and he can't stop renting it for Toro because the Toro income is paying the car note, or that'll be the 3rd car that gets repossessed. Lemon. Please don't put anything in there. You know,
I want some.
You can drink some, but don't put anything in it. And don't try to drink up all my water. That's good. You got your little whistle wet, now go. You know, we're facing all of these different things. You know, rationing electricity and, you know, thank God we have food stamps so I could feed these kids, because there was a time that, you know, the money that had to go to paying all these bills also had to go to feeding these kids. You know, and so I was able to stop and go. I was able to, you know, apply and get us financial assistance so that we could feed these kids. So I could stop trying to make up excuses of why they're hungry. While they're sitting here talking about, Mom, I want, because these kids eat all day, every day. They eat all the damn time. You know, and they're like, Mom, there's no milk. Okay, I'll get some milk. You said you're going to get milk yesterday. I know, I got to get to the store. No, I don't have money to get milk right now. So, you know, I'm telling my financial situation, and I'm like, I'm not telling it because I'm trying to evoke anything from you. It's not because I want anything from you. It's because Spirit is telling me to give this to you. Spirit is telling me to be transparent. And I'm like, okay, God, I know there's lessons for me to learn in this financial situation. So what are some of the things that I've learned from this financial situation? Let's talk about my husband. My husband has always been, I make the money, and not in a control way, but I make the money, so I ain't got to do shit else in the house. He does, but he's like, I got to work all day and come home and cook. Well, nigga, if you want something good to eat, yes, you got to cook, because I don't know how to cook. You know, thank God Bailey has started helping with the cooking. So now we all have a schedule where I have 2 days a week, and I don't know how else they work it out, but I have claimed 2 days out of the week to cook. Those are my responsibilities. And I know ahead of time that I need to go spend 4 hours in that goddamn cooking, dicing, and making all kinds of whatever to what. You know what I'm saying? And so we've moved into a flow. But in the beginning, you know, I got to come home, and I got to come home. I work, and I make the money, and I make the money, and I make the money, and I make the money. You know, that was always his go-to. I work. I don't have time to help you with the kids. I work. He does help with the kids. I wouldn't be able to capture all the moments of my husband with the children if he wasn't with his children. So please, the pendulum, don't go all the way to the extreme, because my husband isn't the extreme. My husband is very helpful. That's why in 2010, when I saw the father that he was, and maybe that was his training ground, maybe he was the man that felt like he didn't have to deal with the kids until he became a single father. And who else is going to deal with these kids but him? But that's why in 2010, when I saw him, and I was like, damn, he's a great ass father. He would be a beautiful father figure for Bailey. And I asked him to be a father figure for Bailey. So he takes care of the kids. He cooks, he cleans. Why? Because he carried a household by himself. Maybe that was his training ground, so that when we get together, you know, he knows how to hold it down. But why should he hold it down and work 16-hour days? You know what I'm saying? Because I need help. I work 16-hour days too. I'm working all day too. Just because the work that I'm doing doesn't bring in money presently doesn't mean that I don't work all day too. So my husband, his growth opportunity, you know, I make the money. Now he's not making the money, and now he has to find another way to flex his chest. You know, he's got to find another way to be the man. And so now he is intentionally stepping up in the house. Thank you. Now he is intentionally stepping up in the house and being a part of this. And he even said, you know, I'm not bringing in the money I used to. I got to figure something out. Thank God you received that, because I was saying, Lord, I hope that my husband receives, because all of us don't know to get lessons out of a space. It's really tot. You are supposed to be deriving meaning from the space that you're in. You're not supposed to be sulking in the space that you're in. Sulking is only going to bring in more misery. What you need to do is derive meaning from the space that you're in. And if you derive meaning, that powers you through because you're going to go through it, period. Like Pat said, it's an unfamiliar new beginning. You don't know what you are going into. You just know that something is ending. And if you do not derive meaning from this place of stress, then you will not have the tools necessary to take you into the next space. Because the stretch in between the ending and a beginning is the space where you're supposed to be learning all the skills necessary to go into your next. But if you do not learn the skills necessary to go into your next, you are wasting that space. This is the universe trying to grow you and prepare you for your next. But if you do not learn this, what you're supposed to learn in this space, and you're too busy stressing out and woe is me and all these different things, I literally have curled up in a ball and asked God why God hated me in that unfamiliar space. In that unfamiliar space, I'm in it again. In this financial space, I'm in it again. And this time I'm like, boom, 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 boom. I'm just like, God, what else you want me to learn here? Can we please have the breakthrough? Because I have learned everything. And that's the one key that I wanted Dre to learn, that you are not money. Because where we're headed, the money that this is going to bring in is going to pale what he brings in. So you cannot be the money man, because one day you will not be the money man. And who are you outside of money? So I'm so thankful that he got that lesson, that he needs to be more than the person who brings in the money, because pretty soon I'm going to be the person who brings in the money. And the money that I bring in is going to be the money that will retire him, that he will no longer be responsible for bringing in the money. So what else are you bringing to the table? And he's figuring out what else is. You know, he's working on his relationship. I heard him talking to Michael last night. You know, and the way that he was talking to him, he was making a soul connection. He may not know that he was making a soul connection, but his soul connection, he was talking about, you know, teaching Michael how to work out. You know, he was just like, you know, maybe we could work out together and, you know, blah, 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 whatever the conversation was. And I was just observing it. And I was like, see, that's beautiful. You were having a moment with your son, but Michael was always asking to work out like daddy. He's always trying to do what daddy does. And so for daddy to sit down and say, maybe I could teach you what I do, that was a soul connection. So you connected on the spiritual level because you found something in common, but you found a way to connect to your son in a way that your son looks up to you, and now you can bring him into your interests. You know, for me, what have I learned from this financial space? I have learned not to complain. I have learned to be okay. I have learned to go without. And what's really cool is, gosh, I started the parallel yesterday, but I jumped ship and I was like, I wanted to come back to that parallel. Oh, the peace. He is already trying to cut hair, friend. You know, the peace that I am able to have in this financial situation, right before this financial space that we're in hit, Dre took over the finances. Now, the financial space was already coming. I have been telling Dre for 2 years, you know, we're living off of our savings. Our savings is going to run out. And then it was like, we're living off of our credit cards. Our credit cards are going to max out. We need to chill. We need to chill. We need to chill. But we continued to life. And then Dre picked up the finances. And Dre, you know, is doing whatever Dre is doing. So the things that I am watching deplete, stop depleting. Because now Dre has somehow miraculously solved the problem. I don't know. But he was able, because prior to, and let me be transparent, prior to, my husband had a child support debt. When we got together, first of all, when my husband's ex-wife left him, she left the children. So he was a single father. And he raised them kids. Somewhere she resurfaced, and this is a relevant story, that's why I'm telling it. Somewhere in the story, she resurfaces. She realizes those kids are a paycheck, so she takes the kids from him, files for custody so that she can now get child support. And he doesn't have the language, and he's a father, and Arizona doesn't care about fathers. That's why yesterday when I was like, I used to be these men too, until I got a good man. And then I got a good man, and I watched him get ran. I watched that woman run this man. And I was just like, he doesn't deserve this. That means every man out there doesn't deserve to be ran. That means every woman out there isn't out here struggling, trying to figure out. Some of these women are slugs. I met one. I dealt with one. And if she decides to surface again, I'll deal with her ass again. But she is in a disappearing act right now, so who knows where she is? We don't know. Thank God. But anyway, she goes and files child support because these kids are now a bank account. She doesn't want the kids. She wants the money. And my husband doesn't have the language to say in court. All he says is, I love my children. I love my children. Don't take my babies. I love my children. But, she got a mouthpiece. I respect her. She's an intelligent woman. But she uses her power for bad. She doesn't use her power for good. So she's in there and I'm sure she's running her rap. And she given her situation, and the judge grants her custody of the children. A woman who has went to prison for a violent crime gets the children over a man who doesn't know how to articulate himself. But when those children were abandoned, he stepped up and took those kids, but he didn't have enough awareness to go to the court and get custody of his children. He just picked up where it all left off. These are my kids. I don't need to involve the man in my business. And he just took care of his kids. And so, years go by. I meet him as a single father. Years go by. She shows up, takes the kids from him. And then when she files for child support, she gets all that back child support. She gets all that back child support, even though he had his kids. And so he's like, you know what? Fuck that. I ain't paying nothing. I ain't paying nothing because he don't want the man in his business. Yeah. A lot of black men are like that. I can't speak for other people, but I've heard a lot of black men say, as long as you keep that man out of our business, I got you. As long as we don't have to pay child support, I got you. Not knowing that all that money that you're giving that woman is considered a gift. And she has to have the integrity to go into the court and say, yes, he's been paying me. And I want child support from today forward. Not, yeah, those are gifts. Go ahead and backtrack that child support. Which is what happened to my husband. So he has his child support debt. On top of, he's taking care of his kids. He's paying her rent. He's giving them money whenever they ask, all these different things. But he's not paying child support because now, it's fight the system. I'm not going to comply because you're trying to bend me over a barrel. So now my husband's child support debt is continuing to climb, even though he's giving her money. He's not paying it through the system. So I come into the picture and I'm like, whoa. And let me clarify. I don't know if the child support retrograded to when all the way back. Because now I'm doing the math, and when I got with him, he had like $11,000 worth of child support debt. And it just seems that it would be more than that if it went all the way back to birth. So I'm not sure how far back it went to. But I know that when I showed up, there was $11,000 worth of debt. And I was like, hold up, we got to do something about this debt, babe. You're not going to give her money directly. You're going to send it through the system. And so I started sending money through the system, and that's how my husband ended up with the child support debt. He did not have a child support debt because he was not paying his child support. He had a child support debt because he was not going to involve the man in his life. And once she involved the man in his life, he just was, fuck it, I'm not doing it. But he was screwing himself, but he didn't know that. It took me coming in his life and to care enough about him and him to trust me enough to allow me to know that aspect of him. There's a lot of variables. People keep things away from you because they're ashamed. Like that 36-year-old man who's teaching himself how to read. He went 30 some odd years of his life hiding from anyone that he allowed in his life. The fact that he didn't know how to read. He did not trust the people that he allowed into his space enough to let them know that intimate detail about their lives, his life. I'm trying to find the tense. So my husband didn't trust. My husband either didn't trust the people he allowed in his life up to the point that I showed up to let them know him that intimately, or he let them know, but they didn't have a solution. Or maybe they didn't have the power, That's why he has to love you more than you love him. My husband trusted me enough to come home every day and give me his money. My husband let me into his finances when I still lived in California and we were still friends. And he told me how much money he makes. And I was like, ain't no way in the world you make that much money. He was like, I do. So every day he would come home and he would tell me how much money he made. And I put it on my little calendar. And at the end of the month, I added up how much money he made. And I was like, God damn, you are making that much money. Why the hell you living like you live if you make that much money? Because he didn't know better. He accepted whatever into his life. So, yes, I'm talking about your dad. And so, because he's my husband, so I could talk about him. Why do I want to talk about you? If I continue to tell the story about your father, you will eventually enter the story. But you're not here yet. And so, I say all that to say, and I don't even remember why I got on that. Oh, he had this debt. So when we got together, all the money went into my bank accounts. It never went to his bank account. So once we paid off the child support debt. Let's tell that story. This is a crazy story, but it includes me because it has to do with the child support debt, so I could tell it. I try to refrain from telling detailed stories about things that don't have anything to do with me because it ain't my business to tell. But since it's related to the child support debt, I'm going to go ahead and tell the story. And I'm not violating my rule. I'm justifying violating it. Boom, there we go. So let's tell this story. The final payment for child support was $14,000. All throughout our time together, I don't know how long we have been together at this point, 4 or 5 years, because we've been married 5 years. We've been together 6 years this year. And Ezra is 19, will be 20 this year. And this was the year that Ezra turned 18. So however long we've been, y'all know my math ain't mathy. I have been paying extra every month. So his child support was $500 something for 3 kids. I got $500 for 1 kid. So I guess his income, because his income was undocumented because he's a barber. At the time, he really wasn't making money when she filed child support. And by the time she filed child support, all the money was in my accounts. Or at the time when he started making more money and she could have went for a modification, all his money on paper was still what he said it was. He was still making $15,000 on paper. I don't care. I got to take care of my household. I'm not taking care of yours because you refuse to work. And she's a felon, so she really can't get a job. So she really can't get a job to support herself, let alone these 3 children. At any time, she could have let that bank account go and gave us the kids. And so, right or wrong, that's how that happened. I think if she wasn't a slug, I would have definitely, because there was a time when this TV right here was sitting in our garage and they didn't have a TV. And I was like, why don't you give it to your ex? They need a TV. I ain't giving her nothing. I was like, yeah, she doesn't deserve it. She's not a nice person, but your kids need a TV and, we're not using it. So I never had a hard heart. I was defensive. And so, where was I at? Oh, yeah. So I always paid extra, $1,000, extra money, putting extra money. But the way that the child support system works, the interest and the fees every month, if you do not pay the full amount at once, it's always going to climb. It's always going to climb. And so at the highest point, it was $15,000. At its lowest point, it was $10,000. And when it came time to pay it off and we actually had the money, don't even know where the $14,000 came from, it was $14,000. I took that $14,000 and we paid off the child support. Well, we gave the mother the child support, the $14,000. She gave each child $600. And when she gave each child $600 of their child support, because it's child support, she took the rest of the money, left the eviction notice on the table, cleared all the electronics out of the house, and she disappeared again. Ezra came. Yeah, that's not candy. That's medicine. Please leave that alone.
Why not eating them?
Because I don't have a stomach ache. I don't need it.
Why don't you need them?
Go put it back, please, and get out of my medicine cabinet. Go put it back and get out of my medicine cabinet. Thank you for listening. Nope, you don't get to contest. You don't get to act like I'm doing you wrong when I've asked you 3 times. Okay. Anyway, so we pay the $14,000 off. She leaves the eviction notice, takes all the electronics out of the house. Ezra comes home from college to an empty house and an eviction notice. And that is how she disappeared out of those children's life a second time. So those of you who are like, oh my God, I can't believe, you da-da-da-da-da-da-da. This is the individual I'm working with. She didn't care about nothing about those kids. When she got that $14,000, her children don't even know where she is. Her children don't even know if she's alive. She does have mental illness. She is. And she doesn't get any help for it. And she drugged those children. But that's none of my business. But the whole point that I'm saying is when we were able to pay that child support debt off, now Dre is able to start establishing things in his name. That's why Dre just got his passport, because he wasn't able to get a passport because of the debt. So now he's opening these bank accounts. He can have all the money in his name, and now it no longer has to go through me. And because the money is no longer going through me, I don't know what's going on financially. But the beautiful thing about not knowing what's going on financially, especially in this space that we're in, I'm able to have peace. I am not looking at the bank accounts and seeing we have $1,000 worth of bills and we only have $500. Dre's seeing that. I'm not seeing it. So I'm able to be like, well, let God do what God gonna do. I'm able to develop the faith necessary to be able to be at peace in this space. I am at so much peace. I have moments where I'm just like, okay, I'm tired. I'm so tired of being here. Can we please get the fuck on? But I heard a Bashar message and I heard a Joe Dispenza message, both in the same day, that said your present reality is because the energy that you are putting into your reality is flowing into your present reality, which just reminded me that I need to get back to visualization. I need to get back to creating my next life. I need to stop putting so much energy into this present space, whether it's lower vibrational energy or if it's just, I'm living and I'm existing in this space. I need to be in my head, in my spirit, in my soul, into my progress, into my future, because that's what's going to call it in. I just have always questioned, how does that look with the family? I'm trying to move my entire family into the next space, but if my husband's head's not there, my children's heads are not there, but I'm the only one doing it, is it like this, where I'm pulling them forward? Or do I have the power to create the new reality and my family just goes along? I don't know how that works. So I don't know what is keeping us stuck in this space, energetically, spiritually. I don't know. Because the lessons are being learned. And one of the lessons was, thank God for the freedom of stressing about finances. My husband is now controlling the finances. I'm just like, okay, I need you to transfer this money into this bank account so I can pay these bills. That is the extent of my involvement in the finances. And that is problematic in the physical world because I don't know what's going on with the money. But in the spiritual world, it's beautiful because I'm not stressed out about money because it ain't even on my plate anymore. It's on his. And the most powerful person in the relationship is able to focus on creating our next reality. And so that's one of the things that I learned from this space that I'm in. Another thing that I've learned in this space that I'm in is that I'm not better than anyone. I had a superiority complex. I thought I was better. I'm not. I am every woman. I knew that I was every woman, but I had an attitude of superiority. And I got knocked down a couple pegs. You know what I'm saying? I've always given. I've always done for others. When I first got on this system, or I got on this TikTok, my vision was to purchase from small businesses and introduce them to my network so that everybody can start helping and supporting. There was always the vision when I got on here to show moments. And those of you who've been around since the beginning, which I believe Vaughn and Barbara, you both have been around since the beginning, when I used to do Follow Friday and I would introduce you guys. And Vaughn, you're still a moderator. If you ever see anybody, you muted. I was about to say, you're still a moderator. So by all means, moderate. you know, okay, please leave. Those of you who those of you who have been around since December, you understand. No, I want you to stop. Mommy's talking, and what I have to say is important, and I want you to value that, okay?
Please listen to me.
Okay, let me finish my sentence, please.
Then we talk.
And then you can talk, okay?
I don't want to talk to you, Ben.
Okay, but just give me a second.
When
When I first started this, I am going to talk. When I first started this, it was my goal to show family moments, but also to help other small businesses get noticed through my network. And so the cool thing about that is we're here again with the Sister Support Network. So I had the vision, and now it's coming into fruition. You have stepped on my light again. Can you please chill out? It's not funny and it's not cute. It actually upsets me, so stop. And those of you who have been here since December, you guys understand, it's been Follow Friday. Let me introduce you to someone. And now we're doing it again. But we're doing it more intentionally. We're doing it where we can bring the community into it, where I don't have to have a dime in my pocket. I guess I gotta have shipping. All I gotta do is have the money to be able to ship a product. And if I could ship a product and somebody could ship it to me, we can still keep the network going. So there's a lot of things I learned from this financial situation, but what I wanted to say is being transparent and sharing the situation that we're in, a situation where there are people who have jumped from buildings because their financial life has gone astray. There are people who have taken their entire families out because their finances have gone astray. There are people who have done really critical things because their finances have gone astray. There are people who are doing illegal things to keep their finances from going astray. So when God said, talk about it, I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about it, but this ain't normal for our community. There's been people who told me, get off the internet begging. There's people who have been told me this ain't something you're supposed to talk about publicly. There's people who have been telling me all kinds of things about how they feel I should be going through this financial space in my life. But God told me to go through it publicly because one, when God restores me, the people who have been here for the journey, they are going to see the power of God. They are going to see the power of faith. They are going to see whatever it is that they're supposed to derive from what you guys are watching. You guys are going to see it, and you're going to use that to empower yourselves, because I am no different than you. I am you. I am every woman. I am you. You are attracted to me because you see something in me that reminds you of you. I am you. So if you see me do it, whatever the adversity is that you're dealing with in your life, whatever the impossible impasse that you are dealing with in your life, if Lonnie could do it, I could do it too. Let's go. And you got me in your corner to support you. And you got everybody that you have connected with within this community to support you. We are a team. It's really ... We are a team. I don't care what other people say. I don't care what other people do. I don't care what the energy has been on this internet. God has given me a message and a task to complete in this lifetime. I have always wanted to unite Black women. I have always wanted to do it. I've been intimidated by you guys. I have not liked you guys. I have not all of these things. And now I am in love with you. Because I got over myself, seeing doctors, lawyers, CEOs, boss women making money. Sharika is out here making $83,000 in 3 weeks. She's a boss out here in these streets because, we value money out here. She's a boss out here in these streets. I would shrink myself in the presence of a Sharika. Sharika hopped on our Zoom meeting looking like me. Hair all over her head, got her t-shirt on. She paused her work so she could do this real quick because this is her next hustle. But this woman made $83,000 in a week. This is the type of person that would intimidate me, that I would shrink myself around. because she's so much better than me, because she has so much more accomplished than I. Oh yes, your degrees have caused me to shrink, even though I have a master's. Your accomplishments and your accolades have caused me to shrink because I have held those at such a higher esteem than the things that I have, because our community holds so many months ago where I said the bonnet is the great equalizer. Those of you who remember that video. Because someone posted a video and she said, I don't care. You get on here with a bonnet, I'm not listening to you. Okay, that's your ignorance. That's your ignorance. And you're cutting yourself off to all the information that is available to you simply because the bonnet, whatever the woman looks like. Sharika does not present like someone who made $83,000 and whose goal is to make $1 million this year off of the hustle that she figured out and she is mastering, and she's teaching other people how to master. She doesn't look like that. And so people discount her because our community says $83,000 in 3 weeks needs to look a certain way. And Sharika said that I'm me. So now I can talk to someone on that level and they don't have on all the things that would intimidate me. And then I could realize, oh, I don't have to be intimidated by these things. And so that thing that was between me and Black women slowly disappeared. Why? Because all of these women with all of these accolades, which usually are things that are used to separate us and to keep us in our place, they on here in they bonnets. They on here laying in their beds. They on here cooking in their kitchen. They on here being real Black women. And I was like, this is what I can vibe with. I see you, sis. So I'm no longer intimidated by you. I'm no longer judging you. I am no longer your enemy. I am your sister. I am your friend. And I'm going to uplift you. So all of the biases and all the things that I had to work through, I was given the opportunity to do that here on TikTok. Because if all those years ago, I was given the vision to unite Black women, to uplift our community. I was given that vision, but I had biases against Black women. I had, fears and judgments. How can you help something you got a problem with? And TikTok gave me the space to remove my biases and to remove my problems. In the past, when I talked about, the Black woman is the problem, Dre was like, you just a woman hater. You a man hater, you a woman hater, you a Black people hater, you just hate everybody. I was like, I don't, I just see the hypocrisies. But when I was saying those things, it came from such an energy that I now understand when Dre said, you're just a hater, it had energy on it. I understand that now. And I had to do the work to remove the energy. Everything that I talk about is a hot topic. Everything that I talk about is a hot topic. Why? It's a hot topic because it's bumping up against something and somebody. And the things that I talk about can get me a lot of hate. And as this platform grows and other outlets start picking up my videos, I'm sure they're going to eat me alive because people have already tried and I just don't pay attention. That's why Vaughn's out there muting people, because it's going to come in. Your mute button better be strong. Your mute finger better be strong, Vaughn, because as we grow, it's about to be something. The hate is going to flow in because the things that I'm talking about is going to bump up against the masses. But the things that I'm talking about is going to worm its way through and it's going to bing, bing, bing. It's going to find the outliers, and the outliers are going to finally find their tribe. So it's really tot. You found your tribe. So don't feel like you're out here alone. You're not. We are here. We are here. And just because you can't touch us, just because you can't call us up on the phone and chit chat, doesn't mean that the genuinity is not real. One of my good friends on here, Barbara, I met her on the internet and I let her know that it's real. So we don't have to be physical world friends to know that the energy that we are giving each other is real. The support, that we are giving each other is real. I didn't just stick sister support on the side of a tumbler so I could have something to sell, but it is available at LoneeTaylorArt.com. I didn't just start the sister support network for small businesses. When I got on here and I was trying to figure out how do I let these women know that I am here to support you, I tried all different hashtags. I was like, but that's not going to let them know that I am specifically here to show you support. I came here to support you. I see your vision, and I am supporting your vision. And that's where sister support came from. And isn't it crazy that it's grown into what it's grown into? And this is the infancy. Can we imagine what it's going to grow into, what that sister support looks like? We see one of our sisters out here suffering, and we are there for them. We are lifting them up. We see one of our sisters out here who just started a business, and we were the first ones to be there to patronize them. Even if it's, yo, you selling cakes, and you don't ship cakes, but how much is a cake? I've done that. Where my friends' kids, when they're not even my friends, they just people I've connected with on the internet. They're doing a fundraiser. So-and-so is selling cakes. How much is a cake? I'll buy one, donate it. You know, that's the community that I'm building here on this internet. You know, so-and-so is selling Girl Scout cookies, and we all show up. Auntie on the internet buys a box of Girl Scout cookies. Now, so-and-so, who typically would have only sold 10 boxes of cookies, sold 500 cookies. 500 boxes of cookies. And now they're catching that win. We help somebody else's child catch that win because we are community. We are support. That's why I filmed that video back in the day when Angel was trying to, sell her cookies door to door. I was like, you can't sell cookies door to door. That's not safe. And those cookies don't look like they need to be consumed by anybody. But what I can do is film a video and present to our community and say, hey, Angel's selling virtual cookies for $1. If you want one, buy a cookie. That is community support. That is sister support. And that is what we're doing here. We are building for real community. I don't care what they say anywhere else on the internet. I know what I was told to do. I know what Divine told me to do. Divine told me to get on here and uplift and build. But before you uplift and build, you got to check your biases. And thank God for the goddamn bonnet. The bonnet helped me remove my biases because it was inferiority. I would feel inferior. And because I felt inferior and it bumped up against me, whenever something bumps up against you, you don't like it. I suffered from the same things that I teach about. That's why I teach about it. That's why I know you can overcome it, because I overcame it. When I say I love, I love. When I say I do, I do. When I do these things, I do them from the genuinity of my heart, because I know this is what's going to pull us up off of our knees. Black women and black men, humans. What is going to pull us off of our knees? And I'm looking at a sticky note that says human kindness as I say this, so I know this is divine. What is going to pull us up off of our knees is we interlocking our arms in each other, and we standing up together, and we are lifting each other up. And we are witnessing it here live. We are witnessing it. I am being elevated because you guys are elevating me. And I'm not taking that for granted. Everybody that came up, perfect example, Cardi B. Cardi B was on Love and Hip Hop. She was a stripper. That's where she got her notoriety. And everybody that comes out on one of those shows, they all want to be a singer and a rapper. Everybody that comes out on those shows and they want to be a singer and rapper, they put their music out and it goes nowhere. But good old Cardi B. Now I understand with Cardi B, it was a marketing strategy. But if they could do that with money, what can we do with intention? I notice when if I see you and I don't speak, that means I don't with you. I noticed when that song came out, Kodak Black, Bodak Black, Bodak Yellow, Bodak Yellow. Bodak Yellow. When that song came out, I noticed I could not scroll my timeline without there being a celebrity picked up by the Shade Room, because I don't follow every single celebrity, but I follow the Shade Room. I noticed that there were so many different celebrities talking about, yo, did you hear this song? Yo, did you hear this song? This song, this song, this song. They were jocking the out of this song. And you know when there's a marketing push behind something or somebody, because you keep seeing it everywhere. And everybody was filming videos rapping this song. So the marketing push is, I'm going to pay key celebrities to film a video rapping my song. But then it goes beyond marketing, because now it becomes cool. And now we have tapped into groupthink. And because people see people getting attention for rapping this song, I'm going to start rapping this song so that I can get attention. So now I have people who are promoting me who I didn't have to pay. I just got to pay the key people. And that's what influencers are, right? So we understand how the marketing ploy works. I understand all these people who are saying this song is dope as heck and they're filming videos are either doing it because they truly like the song, because they were paid, or because they see people getting attention for it. Okay, cool. And next thing you know, Cardi B is Cardi B who she is. I watched the people make Cardi B rise. I saw her approaching the portal and then get sucked through the portal. And we watch it happen time and time again. Justin Bieber posting his videos on social media. People are sharing his content because they truly like his music. You guys are liking my lives. You guys are sitting here with me for 3 hours because you truly like me, because we truly have bonded. But there will come a time where people are here simply because it's cool to be here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not disillusioned. Those people will probably not be my friends. But I know the bonds that we are creating right now, the sisterhood we are creating right now, is true sisterhood. And a time will come where I won't have to pay a celebrity, but a celebrity or an influencer will catch on to me, and then it will put me into a different market. And then you'll see a rapid growth somewhere in there. And that's when the haters are going to start creeping in. And you'll see me slowly coming towards the portal. And then it's going to go where it's cool. It's either cool to hate on me or it's cool to love me. And we're going to watch all that happen. And I told that to Ree, because me and Ree, we talk offline. I told that to Ree. And she was like, that's a crazy cross to bear. It's a crazy cross to bear to know that you came here to change humanity. I was like, I know. And I don't say it out loud because I know people are like, yo, that's crazy. But if we can actually look at what's going on here, for people to say, you've inspired me. I'm not doing topical inspiration. I'm not trying to inspire, your outfit of the day. But you should pick up some Lonee Taylor Art merch at Lonee Taylor Art so that I could be your outfit of the day. But I'm not trying to inspire you topically. I am. I'm making soul connections. I said a couple days back, and this is why your divinity, your divine connection needs to be A1 day one. It needs to be, yo, I'm done listening to this. I'm listening to this. I'm being guided by this. Because I said the other day, I wish I knew someone who could tell me what I am. Because I'm not normal. I don't think normal. I don't move normal. I don't do anything that is normal. And normal is status quo. Normal is following the crowd. Normal is groupthink. I am not normal. The way that my brain works, my connectivity, this is all something. What is it? I was like, I wish I could find somebody like me so they could tell me who and what I am. And then right after I said that, it reminded me of all the people who I used to say, what is spirituality? What is spirituality? They were like, it is what it is. It's what you make it. I was like, I need a blueprint. I need something to follow. And thank you for the like. Thank you for the love, Vaughn. Thank you all. If you like what you're hearing, please double tap that screen. Let TikTok know to push this live out to other people. You know, with spirituality, when I asked people, I was just like, how do you do this? How do you do this? And people are like, it's your own journey. You figure it out. It never made sense to me, and it used to piss me off. And there was a series of videos where I would create where I just like, you goddamn woo-woo people get on my nerves because y'all will not give me the formula. Even my daughter, I was like, when we did that full moon ritual together and we filmed it, I was like, okay, what are we supposed to do? And she was like, whatever you want to do. I was like, you goddamn woo-woo people, get on my nerves. Tell me what I'm supposed to do. But it resonated recently to me that spirituality is such a personal journey. It is such a personal walk. However you choose to connect to source, as long as you choose to connect to source, even if you choose religion, you need that structure. I was going to say religion on the pervasive, if we look at the pendulum, religion on the pervasive is dogmatic. You think and move the way that we tell you to move or else. But religion on the surface, my husband is looking at Rastafarian. It is a religion. He's just looking for a set of rules to guide him along his path. If you must carry the training wheels to teach you and to give you something to follow to get to where you need to go, then religion is a beautiful thing. It's when it becomes dogmatic and it becomes a doctrine and you are now damning other people for not thinking like you and moving like you when you're only thinking like you and moving like you because someone told you to think and move that way. That's when it becomes problematic. But however you choose to get to source, you just need to get to source. And so when I couldn't get anyone to tell me about spirituality, now I can say, why do I need someone to tell me what I am? And I made the discovery the other day that my gift is I can see souls. And that's why people don't like me. And that's why I don't like people. Because I have always been able to see through people. And I didn't know what it was until recently because I am defining who and what I am. I am defining who and what my gift is. And what my gift is, I can see and connect to souls. And I really am not interested in any relationship where I cannot connect to your soul. If you want to keep me here, then we have nothing to talk about. There's a million people you can go and have a superficial conversation with. There's a million people you can go and have a superficial connection with. Don't look to me to have a superficial anything with because I'm not interested in that. I want to live in my gift. My gift is, hey, how are you, dear? That's my superpower. I see people. I see you. And I know that because people have come to me. So people have come to me and told me who I am. People have told me that I'm inspiring. People have told me you make me feel seen. People have told me that I am creating a network for women to come together and to build their communities. People have told me who I am. So I don't need one individual to come to me and tell me who I am. When you guys give me feedback, you are telling me my impact. And my impact is telling me who I am. So then I can come stronger in those things. Now, if somebody is coming to you with some negative feedback, I talked about this. I'm going to start using this book. Check this book out. I had all these books. I ordered these books. Hi, I'm Faith and need help. Okay, Faith, send me a DM. So, I I had a bunch of these books. I ordered these almost a decade ago. I have been carrying these books around for decades. In Faith, I only tell you to send me a DM because you have no profile picture and you're a user. So if you truly need help, you can send me a DM. Otherwise, my moderator is going to mute you not because I don't feel that you truly have an issue, but because I have invited you to send me a DM. I ordered a bunch of these books many, many years ago, and they have been in my garage. Who knew that in 2023, that I would climb in my garage? So if I send you a book and there's dust on it, that's because I've been doing art and they've been collecting dust. So if I send you a book, who knew that I would come up with the Sister Support Network idea? Who knew that I would come up with this idea in 2023 and I would have 8 books sitting in my garage that I could go grab those books and I can start a vision and see what happens with it? Who knew? God did. So I don't have a dime to my name. I have $100 that I have been using to ship these books out to people. And when those 3 books are gone and that $100 is gone, then, see, there you go. Just give me the word. Go ahead and mute Faith because I don't want any distracting behaviors, but that's not out of not having concern for you. That has everything to do with I have given you permission to send me a DM. So if you truly need my help, do it in a DM. You don't have to do it here. Let's do it privately. And that's not me being mean by muting you. You look like a distraction. If you're not, I got you. But when I was pulling out those books, I found this book. I don't know if y'all can see how beat up this cover is, but it's beat up. And I was like, damn, where'd this book come from? It looks weathered and used. I looked in the book and look what I wrote. My mommy's copy. I found my mommy's book. This is blessed. This is blessed. Why? Because my mom showed up and she said, this is blessed. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So I'm going to start using this book. I'm going to start showing this book to y'all when I show my book. But aside from that little piece, I held up this book for a reason, but I don't remember. But pick up your copy at LoneeTaylorArt.com. Amazon, just make sure the author is Lonee Taylor. But I know what this is because I've had the vision. You know what this is because you believe in it. You're like, I don't know why I show up and sit on live with this woman for 3 hours. I don't know why I'm being her moderator. I don't know why I'm supporting. I don't know why. You know why. But it's because I made that soul connection. And you see me and I see you. And it's beautiful. All right. I was talking to my daughter yesterday. We got on live because she was talking about her friendships and I took some notes. It said, let people know you don't like them energetically being cold. I tried to cover this yesterday, but I don't think I did a good job with it on my live. So let's try again. Back to Cardi B. If I see you and I don't speak. Actually, you said something earlier, Vaughn, and I didn't want to break my flow, but I did want to come back to it. You gotta have the receipts with child support title on it. So my child's father, Bailey's father, he had all of his, and it may be state to state, he had all of his receipts from his money orders, but the people here said those are gifts. Now, I don't know if it's because they did not say child support on them, but I know in Arizona, if it does not go through the clearinghouse, it's considered a gift. And it's up to the woman to say no, or the custodial parent, because sometimes it's the father. The custodial parent to say, no, those were actual child support payments. Those can apply to the balance. So it's state to state. It is up for our men to protect themselves. At the end of the day, it's up for our men to protect themselves. It's up for the women who have a bit more awareness than maybe they do. One, to raise their children so that they are aware and they are very cognizant of their rights. But also, it's up for the women in our community who runs across a man who may not know how to do what he's doing and to plant a seed and say, hey, yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? I posted a video a while back. It was a lessons with Lonee. Those videos don't do too well because those are longer videos, but those are where we are analyzing a video that I may have found on the internet, and now we're analyzing what's going on in it. And I feel it's okay to analyze it because somebody put it out on the internet. You put it out on the internet, somebody's going to say something about it. And I don't do it from a derogatory place. I do it from a place of, okay, let's look at this as a classroom and let's grow from it. I am so amazed how many videos out there where I hear Black women talking about how they feel justified in mistreating a child simply because they did not birth the child. I am so amazed at how many Black women who are okay expressing, and then the other Black women in the comment section saying, yeah, I heard this grandmother talking about this woman apparently had a baby or got pregnant. I don't know, through infidelity, she got pregnant, or they were broken up and they got back together. Anyway, the baby that will be born or that is birthed is not the grandmother's bio grandchild. But the way that the grandchild came into the picture was either through infidelity or they were broken up and she got pregnant, they got back together, and the child is not her son's. And so the son is saying, Mom, why can't you accept the child? Because I'm accepting the child. If I'm accepting the child, why can't you accept the child? And the mom's like, because it's not yours, and I'm not going to treat a child that's not yours like mine. I was like, Black woman, how dare you take out your biases against a child? That broke my heart for that child. It broke my heart to see a woman to feel so solid in mistreatment of a child simply because the energy that that child was created under was not the energy that she could get behind. So you're going to treat an innocent a certain way because the adults out here on some what? And she felt justified. That broke my heart. And the people in the comments who were agreeing, that broke my heart. It broke my heart for that child, because all of what that grandmother could impart into that kid, they're going to not receive. That child is going to look at other children who have relationships with their grandparents and wonder why, because I'm sure this woman is never going to communicate with this child. This is why I treat you different. If we communicated with these children and let them know this is why this is happening, if somebody would have communicated with me and said, no, your mother did not abandon you, your father kidnapped you. If somebody would have communicated that to me, maybe I wouldn't have spent decades hating my mother. But we don't communicate to children the ins and outs of something that's happening for whatever reason. And now this child is left to make up their own narrative. So now this baby is going to go from birth to however long this child is in this man's life being mistreated and not even knowing why. And now this child is going to start building resentments towards Black women because the Black women in their life are treating them like crap for no reason. So all the trauma that this baby is going to be subjected to simply because the mother had the child either through infidelity or during a break in their relationship. And it just broke my heart to see that. And so those are the type of Lesson with Lonee videos that I do. I find videos like that and I was like, let's talk about this because this has to stop. That baby is an innocent. That baby ain't got nothing to do with the choices of the adults. My daughter sat here yesterday and said, I can't wait till I can have a relationship with my cousins. I said, your cousins lived in the same state as you and didn't try to have a relationship with you. What makes you think you gonna go to Texas and aside for a couple of feel-good moments, you guys are not gonna have a relationship in Texas? And that started because of me. Their mamas don't like me. Therefore, they made no effort for their children to like my children. And those children are privy to conversations that are had about me. And now these children are creating biases against me because they're overhearing conversations about me. And they're now transferring those biases against me to my child. And so now my child is suffering and does not have a relationship with my mom's side of the family because my mom's side of the family has a problem with me. And they have a problem with me because I'm a truth teller. In my 20s, I told the truth. Now I know how to filter myself. I can see all the things wrong with you, but it ain't got nothing to do with me. You continue to live in your truth. Just because I see it. None of my business. You know, so when we're out here, I gotta speak my mind. No, you don't. No, you don't. Zip it. Somebody else's life is none of your business. Now, if they're doing something that is going to hurt themselves, then sure, you can speak up. But even in that speak up, mind your business. If they like it, you love it. It's almost like someone, please, no, I want you to leave. No, please, no, no. Oh, you know what? Actually, no. I did tell you could talk to the audience. Come on, you can talk. I'm sorry. I apologize. Come talk to the audience.
I love you, and Mama did you laundry door, then it's a bag, I actually done it, about to, but yeah, and then it was going to go, and that why.
Vaughn said hello.
Hello.
Say, how are you today?
How are you today?
Yeah, shame on her. I agree. She says if the son knows that he's not the father, but he's saying it's still his child, shame on her. I agree. He accepts the kid. The mother doesn't. And she said, you know.
Why?
Vaughn said that they're great. She said she's great.
Okay.
Are you done talking?
No.
Oh, then keep talking so that I can continue.
Don't
touch my screen. Then start talking.
I want to talk to the lip button.
You want to talk to the button? You can't talk to anyone. You just talk. Just open your mouth and speak.
David Ever.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate your contribution. Okay. Okay. Bye-bye. All right. Release control to gain control. He was going to continue coming back until he got his way, so I had to give him his way in order to stop him. I know, see? I have to think beyond my wants now. I have to think beyond, I know I may lose some viewers just because my kid hopped on, but you guys have let me know that you are welcoming to the distractions.
Mama, do you want to play on me with a trampoline?
Yeah, I'll jump on the trampoline with you for a little bit when I'm done.
But I want to stop. It don't go. It don't flap it too high. It don't flap it too high. I thought you gave.
Okay, well, don't jump so hard that you start to scream. First of all, you walked in my room and you left the door open, which you're not supposed to do.
Okay.
And now I want you to leave. Please leave so mommy can work. I gave you your time. Hey, Kaden, I gave you your time, so that means every time you come in here after, I get to tell you to leave, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so please leave. Thank you.
I got pizza.
Okay, go get you. But I don't know what he's saying. Anyway, you know, I get over being worried that people are going to leave because my kid, hey, maybe somebody has been like, please stop feeding me so I could go. I got to go to work. But you're so wrapped up in the word that you're just like, I can't leave. And then boom, Kaden comes in, intervenes, breaks the cycle. Now you can leave. So who knows why? I just got to learn how to go with the flow and everything. That was just a lesson in going with the flow. I keep trying to push through and push past, but maybe the breaks are necessary. Maybe the breaks aren't for me. Maybe the breaks are for you. You're working and watching, seeing, get it done, get it done. I appreciate it. You're working, watching, and interacting. And man, you are Dynamo Vaughn. You're on the team. That's all I'm gonna say. I hesitate from telling people. I was telling this to another person, but I was like, I've always hesitate to tell people that I've always watched people, and I've always watched for good people. I've always watched for people who look out for other people. That's why when I was on that beach with Byron, I was able to recognize when he picked up assistance. See, we don't pay attention to that. We just think somebody jumps in and helps us. No, people jump in and help you when you're moving in purpose. And we think purpose is such this big thing, right? Right now, purpose for me is a big thing, but in order for me to get into purpose on a big level, I had to have purpose on a small level, and I had to recognize what purpose looks like on a small level. The thing is, we're always looking for the big thing, but the faith builders, in order for me to have the faith to be able to go through this financial space and to see my land and to see my home and to see me standing on a stage, to see my TED Talk, to see all of these things while I'm sitting in the situation that I'm sitting in, I have to have faith. In the faith of a mustard seed, the faith of a mustard seed. And I know that's a big ass mustard seed, but you know what I mean. The faith of a mustard seed. The amount of faith necessary, the amount of faith to move mountains. I've always thought it was a literal mountain. No, a mountain is an obstruction. A mountain is an obstacle. And I'm closing my eyes because I am visualizing moving my mountains. I am visualizing moving any obstacle that has been before me. I have the faith because I believe that I can do it, and I know that I can do it, and my ability to do it has nothing to do with my circumstances. My circumstances have nothing to do with my ability to get where I know where I'm going. And we have to understand that, and that is the faith of a mustard seed. But in order, we think the faith of a mustard seed is just have a little bit of faith. No, because it also says have unwavering faith. How can you have that much faith, but it's unwavering? In order to have unwavering faith means that your faith has to be so strong that it cannot be moved. And that's why community is important. That's why we must interlock arms. That's why we must support each other. That's when I hold up a book and I say, yo, even if you don't buy the book, go to Sis's page and comment on one of her videos. I see what you're doing. Keep going. Because that little thing that you think is insignificant is helping her build the faith of a mustard seed. Ooh, somebody saw me. Ooh, I am doing something. You're helping that person build faith. Because in order to have the faith of a mustard seed, you must first have unwavering faith. In order to have unwavering faith, you have to come to a place within your mental space, in your spiritual space, that you cannot be moved. I don't care what's happening in my physical world. I don't care. I am focused. And that is the faith of a mustard seed. And so I have the faith of a mustard seed. But I've always hesitated to say, yo, I'm taking you with me. But I have always watched people, and I have always watched people look out for each other. And so when we were on that beach with Byron and the light needed to be moved, first of all, he had an audience. Now, I don't know if we had an audience or Byron had an audience. But what I do know is another photographer was there. And I know that that photographer in the video that you see that's not stagnant, that's sitting on the ground, but there's an actual video where somebody's actually filming us. That was another photographer who was probably on break, should have been off doing something else. But he was like, I'm going to watch this happen. This is entertaining. That is confirmation. That is the faith builders, to have unwavering faith, to know that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. For Bailey and Dre and everybody, like, why do you want to record everything? I don't understand what's going on, but I do. I got the faith of a mustard seed. You know what I'm saying? And so, thank you, Vaughn. So, for that guy to be standing there instead of going and eating his lunch or going to do whatever it is that he was going to do, for him to see that, that is confirmation for me and for Dre, if he chooses to receive it, that we're somebody to watch. People are interested in us, and all we're doing is taking pictures. Everybody else taking pictures don't nobody care about, but people are standing around watching us take pictures. And you can see we're talking to people in the background while we're walking around, because we've made soul connections while we're here. You know, we dapping people up. You know, they're not doing that to every guest on the resort, but they're doing it to us because we made soul connections. These are confirmations that we are moving in spirit. But anyway, Byron needed his light moved, and the other photographer just moved the light. The guy, because in Jamaica, they walk up and down the beach selling. Apparently, the guy who was selling is a photographer. At least he knows a little bit about photography. So in one of the videos, you could hear him saying the light's too high. This wasn't another photographer who said that. This is a guy who sells on the beach. And he's like, your light's too high. So I was like, Byron, I need you to pay attention that you have picked up assistance. You picked up assistance. You didn't ask nobody to help you. You didn't say, no. People saw what you were doing. They saw that you were trying to be great, and they helped you be great. This means you are moving in spirit. And some random guy who has the knowledge you need at the time told you how to solve a problem that you didn't even know you had. That's how you know you are moving in spirit. That's why the field of dreams, if you build it, they will come. I have built so many things. And when I was on Facebook, I posted a post that was talking about all my damn business cards. I have 6 business cards. I've started more than 6 businesses, but I have 6 business cards. And when I posted the post, I posted it from the perspective that these are 6 failures. I hate looking at these business cards. Yeah, I hate looking at these business cards. Why do I hate looking at these business cards? Because it's 6 times that I tried and I failed. And I'm receiving it as a failure. But if I can change perspectives, these are 6 times that I tried to hit my target. These are 6 times that I tried to hit my target. And I got closer every single time. These are not failures. These are missed targets. But the fact that I keep trying, I have potential to hit my target, and I finally have. So each one of those business cards, each time that you have reached outside of yourself and you tried because you were inspired, not because you saw something happening on the internet and you were like, boom, let's do it. Everybody's doing the AI challenge. I'm going to do the AI challenge too. But the difference is the people who were inspired to do the AI challenge, when they finish doing their AI challenge, they feel fed. That fed their soul because they were told to do it and they listened. The people who did it because they see other people making money and they're like, let me try to chase this money too. When they get off, they feel depleted and they feel like they played themselves. That's why I posted that couple, because I was like, they figured out how to take this and make it their own. They gonna make money on this, and they're gonna laugh all the way to the bank. While y'all laughing at them, they gonna laugh all the way to the bank. They gonna laugh all the way till they tapped into the way that they can get this money and create the life that they feel that they deserve. And as long as they're doing the healing and they're doing the work, they gonna be all right. Because money is not this problem solver, but money allows you to solve some problems. You know what I'm saying? So, I forgot my point. Cute pets in my profile. Welcome to follow and get it. And got it. Okay. If you like cute pets, go and check them out. And so I have always been hesitant to say that I'm taking you with me, because what if I don't go anywhere? But the person I said that to, they were like, are you speaking it into existence? Are you speaking doubt? You can't be double-minded. Do you have faith of a mustard seed or not? So I say all that to say, Von Treese, I'm taking you with me. Because I've always watched people. And I've watched how people show up for each other without even being asked. I watch how you're my unofficial moderator I don't even know how you became my moderator. I don't think we asked you. I think, we were just like, you pulled up and you became a moderator. I think we invited you to be on the live and you're like, nah, I'm good. And somehow you became the moderator. And somehow you have become my unofficial cheerleader. And now that I know that you're older than me, you are like my mother. My mother supported me in everything. My mother supported me in everything. Even though my mother didn't talk to me, she was always in the background. I didn't know she bought this book. I've never known the things that my mother did for me in the background. And I was like, you know what? My mom always looked out for me, even though I didn't know that she was looking out for me. But wouldn't that be beautiful if she let me know that she was looking out for me and then I could start softening my heart towards her? So yeah, all of you beautiful Black women in this community that let yourself be known to me, I am linking arms with you. And as I rise, we rise together. And I'm taking every single one of you with me. Whatever that looks like, I don't know. Just be ready to go. Have your book, have your juice, have your supplement, however, whatever you have on, Trish, you have it ready. Because I'm taking you with me. So when I see you, I don't speak. That means I don't with you. Bailey said she never understood why people have to let people know that they don't like them. Do you know how limited you are making your space by letting people know you don't like them? Yo, I'm listening to a skit on a DMX CD and they're like, yo, there that ghost right there. He just got out of prison. He got a bad attitude. We need to put him in his place. And then they walk up to this dude and he's like, yo, what's up? And they just start beating on him. Why would DMX put that skit on his CD if it did not reflect real life? There are people within our community that will go and jump somebody unsuspectingly simply because they don't like them. They don't like the clothes they have on. They don't like their energy. They don't like something. That is our community culture. That is our community culture so much that it's a skit on a CD. Yes, it was a CD at the time. And that is terrible. Just because I'm watching Remy Ma on this Women in Hip Hop limited series on Netflix, so make sure you check it out. When they put something Black up there, just support it because it's Black. Even if it means you turn it on and you let it play in the background, just support it because it's Black. Everybody's like, I don't support everything. You should. If it ain't hurting you, support it. And now I'm not saying if it's something that completely goes against your morality, you ain't got to support that. But if you see something that's Black and you got it within you to support it, support it. Why? Because the thing that is missing within our Black community is support. It's support. Continued support. I'll support you once, but I'm not going to support you again. No, I'm going to continue to show up and support you. Because I know the day that I need support, even if the day I need support is because I feel like ending it and I'm done. It's really Dot Tot is there. And we can show up for her and support her. Support isn't just monetary. But if you do like to monetarily support, there's my tip jar and there's my merch. But that's not the support. Support is, yo, I'm going to heart this video because I know that this is something that potentially will tell this person to keep going and pursuing their dream. I don't necessarily like their voice, so I'm going to mute this shit. I'm going to mute this while it plays. But I know this is going to tell this person to keep pursuing their dreams. I'm going to buy the book. I may not use the book. I may never use this journal. But you know what I did? I opened up the journal and it pointed to the inner child. And I realized my tendency to always jump to separation with my husband is derived in my abandonment issues from my childhood. So I may never sit down and write into this journal. But the moment I opened this journal and it said tap into your inner child, and right before that I said that I want to figure out why every time me and my husband have a conflict, my immediate response is, I'm out. 5 years later, 6 years later, I'm out. My best friend, I'm out. The only man who has loved me and never made me cry, I'm out. The only man who has taught me to love myself, including my father, I'm out. Soon as he says something that I don't like. That don't make no goddamn sense. And he doesn't deserve that. Yeah, he said yeah, he did. But he doesn't deserve to not feel secure in his relationship just because he misspoke in anger. Because he has come back multiple times, including the next day when I was on my live last night and Patricia was like, girl, get off this live and go spend time with your husband. I was like, you right. And I got off the live and I went and I spent time with him and he was like, yo, I want you to know that I love you. I want you to know that this is forever. And I didn't mean what I said. I believe in what you're doing. I was just frustrated and I allowed my frustration to speak. And I was like, I know that. And I need to deal with my issues of, jumping to, it's over soon as you upset me. I got to deal with that for myself. And I was like, you know what sparked that realization? This here journal. That the only reason why I bought this journal is because my friend that I made on here was like, look, boo, look what I did. I did something. She literally filmed a video because she talks to me in videos. She was like, look, Lonnie, look what I did. She was so happy. She was like a little kid. Look what I did. I set a goal and I said I was going to do it and I wanted to quit and I didn't quit on myself. She said she hit publish on her birthday. This was her birthday gift to herself. I was like, well, I'm going to gift you and I'm going to buy it. I didn't say nothing. I just hopped off of that, went to Amazon and bought it. I didn't need to make an announcement. I just supported her. And then I went and I sent her the Amazon link. Look, this is what support looks like. That's not what I said. I'm just saying that to you. This is what support looks like. I went and I showed her. And then when I got my book, I showed it to her again. She was like, oh my God, thank you so much. I have no idea what showing her that I supported you did for her. But it did something for her. So we need to show up and support each other. When I have a video, I don't really care about numbers at this point. But let's talk about this because they're talking about support now. When I have a video that has 600 views and only 23 hearts, I'm like, oh, well. I understand that some people don't know how to use social media. For years before I actually learned how to use social media, I didn't know that hearts had value. I didn't know that shares have value. But hearts are why. Like, views are beautiful. I love that this video has 600 views. But why does it only have 29 likes? Like, 600 people saw this and were like, oh, this is crap? So hearts mean something. Hearts do something. Views mean something. Views do something. Yeah, I have 30 more minutes. Please leave. Thank you.
Don't try to tell me.
Okay, thank you. Shut the door. Leave and shut the door, please. They have all of these things. They matter. And they tell people to keep going. They tell people, because the thing is, if you tap into something that you enjoy, but you don't let them know that you enjoy it, and no one is letting them know that it's being enjoyed, they stop doing it. And now you have lost access to something that uplifts you simply because you did not uplift back. And it may be because you didn't know. I didn't know how to use social media. Now every video gets a heart, gets a share link, at least gets some emojis with the sister support hashtag. Now, if there's something that I can contribute to the conversation, I'll actually say some words. But every video, heart, that's why when somebody who's going to come back later and be like, oh my God, you like this in 2023. Yeah, because every video gets a heart, gets a share link, and gets a comment. Why? Because somebody came out here and took the time to make some content, and that's what I like. I'm showing support. I'm encouraging. I don't really care what they're saying in the video. That's none of my business. But I see another human out here trying to do their damn thing, and I'm here to support it. So if you want to call me on throwing my support to a message, no, I threw my support to a human. You get caught up in the message. I'm getting caught up in the humanity. And that's why we aren't the same. So you can go ahead and call me out on something that I said or did back in the day. That's cool. You should have that debate. Leave me out of it. If you don't like one thing, support another way. Sister support. Amen. Hey, Ree. You know I've been talking about your book all day. Tell the people why they should buy your journal. You know, buy her journal because she's support. Ree has shown up for me. She was my first and my only coaching client. When I announced that, I do one-on-one coaching on a donation basis, Ree's the one who reached out and was like, yo, I think you're just what I needed. She showed up. And I was able to help her and put her on the right track, and she's healing her family. You know what I'm saying? And we created a bond in that. And no, we don't talk every day, but we talk. It's really .tot. I want you to hear that. And I know you're not on this live, but I'm still speaking to you anyway. Because what you're going through, you're not the only one. We are all going through whatever it is we're going through. Ree came into my life. I came into Ree's life at a time that we both were restructuring our lives. We both were in our lives. I don't know what Ree's call was, but I know my call was, this ain't right. I'm sitting here and I'm watching this and I'm like, this ain't right. At this point, I didn't even think about the humans I was sending out into the world. I just knew this conflict in my home isn't conducive with generational wealth. What I mean by generational wealth, if we are all able to stay together lovingly and we all work together lovingly, you see all these friends coming together and buying land. How are y'all going to will that land? If it's the Johnsons, it's the Jacksons, it's the Taylors, it's the Appletons, it's the Joneses. We own this land. How is that going to look legacy-wise? I'm sure y'all figured it out. But how about it's the Appletons, it's the Appletons, it's the Appletons, it's the Appletons, it's the Appletons. Why? Because the Appletons know how to work together. The Appletons know how to move in love. And so now we can take our wealth, because together we have wealth. Together, we probably bring in $500,000 a year. How about we take our wealth and buy our land? Therefore, this land can stay in our family for generations to come. But in order for us to buy this land, we have to come together and actually like each other. So that was my motivation to get my family all on the same page. Because when my daughter turned 18, I did not want her to move out. Why would I want my daughter to move out to struggle? I literally sold my vagina indirectly. I never walked a corner. But I definitely gave it up to the highest bidder because I was a gold digger. And I ain't got no shame in that. If you out here working for free, then that's your business. I don't even my husband for free. My husband had to have, at the time, my worth, available at LoneeTaylorArt.com. At the time, my worth was stability. I need someone who can take care of me. I can deal with all the other stuff, but I don't want the stability from my childhood to ever manifest in my life. And I have not been able to stabilize myself on my own because the way that I have structured my life, I have structured my life to struggle. I went out and had these kids, and now I'm a motherless, single parent. That means I have chosen to structure my life to struggle. I have degrees, but I'm a teacher. My earning potential in Arizona is what, 40, 50, maybe $60,000 after 20 years, and my kids are grown, and now I can make $60,000. Now I can support myself. I structured my life to struggle. And so I knew the way that I structured my life, I would have to align with someone in order to create stability within my life. Even now, as I pursue this entrepreneurial goal, I have structured my life to be free to pursue. So I aligned with someone. I aligned with someone who would give me the freedom to pursue. Aside from telling me I need to get a job once or twice, when I told my husband I'm not getting a job, Spirit told me to keep doing this. He was like, I knew you wasn't getting a job. And I ain't heard nothing else about getting a job. While my husband is drowning trying to figure out this financial situation, I told him I'm not getting a job. Spirit told me to keep doing this. And he was like, I know. I have aligned myself with someone who will give me the freedom to be who God called me to be. But also in that, I knew that I structured my life to struggle. And the only way that I was going to get out of that struggle is if I partnered with someone. And so stability was found in my partnership. A beautiful byproduct of that is I have aligned with someone who gives me the peace to continue to struggle. Because in that beautiful journey of my life, I have continued the 6 business cards. I have continued trying things. I wrote this book in 2013, I believe. If the year changes every time, it's because I'm inconsistent. Yep, copywritten 2013. Isn't that something? I have a book. I don't care how many of these I sell. I have a book. Something that people talk about doing. Something that I talked about doing for years. I actually sat down and did it. That's the win. I sat down in 2008 and wrote this book, available on buybooksontheweb.com. This ain't gonna give me the moment. I was trying to go for the moment. Oh, there it goes. Boom. Copywritten, 2008 by Trinity Jazz. That was what I was going by. My history is documented. It is something to be proud of. My history is documented right there. In 2008, I was going by Trinity Jazz. I wrote a book. And I have always focused on the fact that this is one of 5 books. There's 4 more books I was supposed to write, but I only wrote 1. God dang it, I wrote a book. I've always looked at the fact that this is supposed to be 1 of 2 books. And I've always focused on the fact that I only have 1 book. God dang it, I wrote a book. I started merch. It wasn't merch then. It was just a t-shirt line many, many years ago. And there's a picture, I'll post it, of me wearing it. I started a sister, what I know now is a sister circle, but I didn't know it was what we're doing here. I started, I believe, in my 30s. No, I'm promoting this book. So it was 2013, 2014, locally. I had 1 meeting. No, it was called Ladies Living Life. And what I wanted to do was to bring women together through shared experiences, kind of like, what is that? I can't even think of what the business is called. I have all these business ideas and then somebody else runs with it, like freaking Build-A-Bear. Yes, in 2023, I still got beef with Build-A-Bear, and Build-A-Bear don't even know. Because when I was in middle school, I came up with the idea of dressing teddy bears up in tutus, and they were called tutu teddies. And they were $25, and we sold them at school because we had to create a business. Shut my door. And so we had to create a business. And the business that I created, like other kids were selling Kool-Aid in the bags, like mixing Kool-Aid and sugar and stuff like that. Which there's different entrepreneurial pursuits. They would have made millions of dollars selling that. They sold plenty of bags. I only sold a few tutu teddies. But we came up with the commercial and everything. I wrote the jingle. Tutu teddies are so much fun. Tutu tutu. Tutu teddies are number one. Tutu tutu. Oh, daddy, won't you buy me one? 'Cause they're the best of them all. I wrote the jingle and everything. I've been creative. My grandmother bought one of those tutu teddies when she came to visit. I think she probably still has that tutu teddies in her trailer. My grandma has multiple properties, and she just moves and creates a whole new life in her new property and leaves everything from the previous life in the other property. So I think that the last time I saw that teddy bear was in her trailer, so I think it's in her trailer. But anyway, when Build-A-Bear came out and it was dress up a teddy bear, I was like, God damn it, I bet you it's a little fucker who is an offspring of my partner on that tutu teddy thing who told their kid, and now they created that goddamn tutu teddy. And now it's Build-A-Bear and it's a multi-million-dollar conglomerate. God dang it. That was my idea. Rage rooms, that was my idea. I used to think all the time, man, if I could just go somewhere and tear some stuff up, I should create a place where people could just go trash it. Now that's a stupid idea. Now rage rooms are all the rave. That was my idea first. I have tons of wonderful ideas and I just don't pursue them. So when the idea of the Sister Support Network came to me, small businesses supporting each other, linking up with another small business and exchanging products so that you can do reviews on their behalf, I moved on it. But when I had the idea here on live, I had the idea before on Facebook. And I think I shared this the other day, so I don't need to share it again. I don't understand why I got on this tangent. So then we'll go back to Cardi B. We don't need to show people that we don't like them energetically. If we don't like someone, then... Oh, these are all old ideas. These are all old ideas that have already been done. The rage room is done. The tutu teddies is done. And I didn't tell nobody. I didn't. They just happen. Because the Bible says God gives ideas to people in threes. So my vision was given to other people and they just chose to execute it. So if you are given a vision, know that somebody else is given the vision as well, and it's the person that chooses to execute it that's going to catch it. Because if you are moving in inspiration, and please understand, if you are moving in inspiration, that piece is just a piece. It may not be the end goal. And I say this all the time. Art was a piece. Art was not the end goal. But I had to do the art to learn every lesson. Boom. Let's go back to the in-between. If we are not learning what's necessary to be learned in the in-between, when we go into our next, because the next is going to happen anyway, we're not prepared. So while we're going through this financial restructuring of my life, I need to be focused on the lessons so that when we go into the next space, I am prepared. Y'all, I don't be telling people my ideas. If it's an idea that I'm not going to pursue, sometimes people give you an idea to give to somebody else. Because I am a receiver, I could be talking to someone who doesn't have the same connectivity that I have. Somebody could give me an idea of starting a bookkeeping business and teaching, how to structure the bookkeeping business. I have no aspirations of ever starting a bookkeeping business, but maybe you do. And here's how you can have a successful one. And you can now take that idea and run with it. So some ideas are given to us to give to others. That's why I told Vaughn, I was like, Vaughn, you better get yo, because when it blow, it blow. My two friends that I had before all of this, I told them, you better get yo, because when I go, I'm taking you with me. But if you don't have anything to present, then there's nothing that I can take. I'm taking Ree with me. How am I taking Ree with me? Because every chance I get, I'm talking about this book. Every chance. And like Vaughn said, you may not have purchased the book to use the book. I didn't buy this book because I was going to use it. I challenged myself to do it, but who knows if I'm going to do it. But I know when I popped in this book and I looked at that prompt, this book healed me. All I had to do was look at a prompt, set an intention, and I received healing from this book. So now I may not be able to say, yes, I did every prompt in this book and the language is so beautifully written and it was so thought-provoking. No, but you want to know? You want to know how I know? I know you ready, Vaughn. I already see how I'm going to use you. You got to let me know how you're going to be used. Because I already see I see your position. I was like, ooh, she is a powerhouse and I already know. But you have to tell me what your gifts are and what you want to do. And I will cry silently to myself because I had Vaughn in this beautiful little box, but now Vaughn wants to go over here. Okay, go use your strengths. Go find somebody else. But yeah, we ready. We ready. But this book, no, shut my door. The Sister Support Network. Shut my door. The Sister Support Network. You can find something positive to say about a sis. And notice everything that I have said about this book that has probably inspired you to check it out hasn't necessarily been about anything that's in this book. I told you about the author. I told you about her drive because I see her soul. I told you about the inspiration that created this book. I told you about her fight to overcome a tendency to quit. I told you what this means to her that she pressed publish on her birthday, that this was a gift to herself. You should want to support another woman that you see out there supporting herself and believing in herself, regardless of what's in the pages. The pages could be blank. You want to support someone who believed enough in themselves, because in seeing someone who believes enough in themselves to pursue, let me take my hand off the cover, by supporting someone who believes enough in themselves, that should inspire you to believe in yourself, because Ree is one of us. Sharika, our TikTok shop liaison, she believes in herself. Von Treese, who is constantly telling us about nutrition, how to eat healthy. I had no idea the value that these different fruits have. Each fruit has a different value. I'm thinking if I just eat fruit. No, set some freaking intentions. I have chronic UTIs, and Von Treese did the research and was like, dandelion root, get you some dandelion tea. So if you are looking to improve your health, check Vaughn out. She is spitting game. And she ain't had to show her face once. So your gift is how your gift manifests. Your gift is how your gift manifests. Your gift is how your gift manifests. Stop trying to manifest your gift like somebody else is manifesting their gift. When you see somebody else manifesting your gift, that is just your cue to know that you too can manifest your gift. Dare to dream, dare to believe. When you dare to dream and you dare to believe, you write a book in 2008 that is going to sell like hotcakes in 2023. But if I stopped believing here, if I never believed here, because I definitely received this as a failure. Dare to continue to dream and believe. In 2013, I dared to dream and I dared to believe again. I dared to dream and I dared to believe. In 2003, I started, boom, there we go. I started The Ladies Living Life. I wanted, it almost came to me. Okay. Something Adventures. The premise of the business is creating social activities for people to come together and meet people. Something Adventures. And it doesn't matter the name of the business. What I'm saying is, I wanted to do that, but with sisters. You know what I'm saying? And to the idea point, I understand what you're saying. Stop telling people your ideas. But like I said on that last live, this little light of mine, am I going to hide it under a bushel? No, I'm going to let it shine. Now, that doesn't mean I need to run all my ideas to your point. But also, I'm going to talk about things, because in talking about things, you know how long I've been out here and you didn't know that I had this book? I just started talking about this book. because I couldn't even find this damn book. I didn't even know if the company that I published through was still a company. And I finally found it. But do you understand how long I did not talk about this? Do you understand how long I did not talk about this? Do you know how long I've had merch and didn't say anything about it? Hide it under a bushel? No. I'm going to let it shine. Because guess what? There's a McDonald's, there's a Jack in the Box, there's a Wendy's, and there's a Burger King all on the same corner. There's a lane for all of us. So we don't have to keep things to ourselves. Now we have to protect ourselves and, put things in place. So I'm going to leave that at that. Because there's still some work that I need to do. Let me stop hiding my art under a bushel. No, you better let that shine. Creative Reed, do you do commissions? We have another artist in our community. Ree, let us know if you do commissions. And if Ree does commissions, Ree has not done commissions yet. Are you open to commissions? I done took the LY off of your name, Creatively, Ree. Well, Creatively, Ree, stop hiding your art from our community. Bump fear. Bump fear. Those of us who you are for will gravitate to you. Bump fear. Who you are for will gravitate to you. Period. We're watching that now. Bring it out, bring it out, bring it out. Yes, Von Treese, you better. This is the sister support I'm talking about. This is community. We got you, sis. I'm trying to remember where I left off. Something Adventures. It's going to come to me. I can hear them saying their tagline, but I can't hear what the business is called. But anyway, I would bring women together. So, I brought in a dancers. You're welcome. I brought in a dancer who, hey, how you doing? Who would teach us how to dance. I'll have to find that video. It's Throwback Thursday. Let me go find that video where I tried to learn how to twerk, y'all. It was a terrible mess. I had a choreographer come in and teach us a dance so that we could come together and learn something and have some discussion afterwards. I rented out a space, in a room, a restaurant. Thank you. And I don't want to know the name of the company anymore, so stop trying to remember. I don't want to know anymore, so stop. It's interrupting my thoughts. Sorry, it won't leave me alone. Something Adventure, Successful Adventure, something like that. Anyway, I rented out spaces and we all got together and we talked, and I adopted a single mother who, she was pregnant at the time. Her name was Faith. Oh, that might have been Faith who needs help. Faith got me on Facebook. She don't need to come over here. But her name was Faith, and we adopted her as a group, and we all sat down and we talked, and at the end of the meeting, we passed around, a fishbowl to collect money on behalf of Faith, so you could get the things that you need for your baby. So I've always done what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to do it on a global scale. I'm not trying, I am doing it on a global scale. If we see a sister out here who's about to get evicted, let the community know so that we can come together, write a check to your landlord, not to you, to help you not get evicted. That's how powerful this community will ultimately be. And when I say I'm taking you with me, I'm not giving you anything. People think, I'm going to leech off of you. No, when I say I'm taking you with me, I'm positioning you. I was talking to a young lady, and she was like, I don't want to feel like I'm riding your coattail. Ride my coattail. I messaged someone today. Her son did a TED Talk. I want to do a TED Talk. I messaged her today and I was like, hey sis, can you tell me the ins and outs of being able to do a TED Talk? Now she can choose to share, or she can choose to keep that to herself. But if we have information that can help the next human being, and I'm not being exclusive, but I'm looking out for my own. If we have information that can help the next Black woman succeed, please pass that information off. Something as, oh girl, I love your outfit. Thank you. Where'd you get it? I'm not telling. Why not? Why not? I had a best friend like that. It used to eat me alive. She would not tell nobody nothing. Everything was a secret. Why? You're cutting yourself off from the collective because, just human nature, the way that our society's set up, the next time you want to know something from me, oh, I don't know if I'm a tit for tatter, which I'm not. I have evolved from being a tit for tatter, but a lot of us are tit for tatters. You don't want to share knowledge and information with me? Why are you looking at me to share knowledge and information with you? I'm matching energy. But at the end of the day, I match source energy. T-shirt available at LoneeTaylorArt.com. I match source energy because I'm not going to drop my vibration just because you don't know how to vibrate. Just because you don't know how to be a team player. I'm not going to disconnect from source. So the next time you ask me, I'm going to lead by example. I got my sweatshirt, also available in a t-shirt because I'm over here sweating, but this is all I have. Thank you, Faith. Are you a new Faith or are you the Faith that said you needed help? Because now you have a profile picture and a name. I think you're a new Faith. How you doing, friend? But I'm going to tell you, I got my shirt at LoneeTaylorArt.com. Available in t-shirt. Sister's over here hot, but one of our community members said, you need to start wearing your merch on your lives. I was like, all I got are sweatshirts. So you about to watch me pass the hell out, but here we are. Welcome, Faith. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Are you a part of the community or you're just seeing me on live? If you're not a part of the community, please join. We're dope-ass humans over here. And if you're seeking dope-ass humans, you found them. So anyway, I've done all of these things to bring women together and to encourage women to support each other, to encourage people to support each other. Thank you for the love. We are up to 10K likes. Thank you. Consistent views. We are doing something over here. We are building something over here, guys. I am so happy. You don't know how much this feeds me. Because like I said, my entire life, I've been trying to do this. I've written books. I've started t-shirts lines that say something. Living Beyond Existing, t-shirt coming soon. Available at Lonee Taylor Art. Wearing things on your body that have meaning and purpose, that speak to you as well as others. I've written books. I've taught. I've done these things. I've gone to different conferences and spoke. And I've led vision board classes that nobody showed up to because I didn't know how to promote myself. I was so fearful that I wanted to set my own flyers down and hopefully people picked them up. I didn't even want to pass out my own flyers, because I was afraid, that fear that Rhea is talking about. I was afraid to go and speak to people and to let them know about this light of mine. Hide it under a bushel? No, I'm going to let it shine. Whatever your gift is. But on the flip side, as I encourage you all to live in your light and to shine bright, on the receptive side, sisters, we must start supporting each other. We must start supporting each other. And again, support doesn't start and end monetarily. Support is, you see a woman walking down the street, you see a Black woman walking down the street, and you just simply smile at her. You don't know what that smile is doing for her. I strike up so many conversations with random strangers where I'm just like, okay, sis. I remember when I was in my art and I was like, I've never been into an art gallery and I want to see my art in an art gallery. So I went and I visited an art gallery on a night that it was, I can't think of her name, but she was a Black artist and she happened to be in the building. I bet you that white woman was looking at us crazy because the white lady was like, oh, well, the artist is around the corner. And I go around the corner and I'm like, sis, yes, you better. And that one woman probably was like, do they know each other? I know her. I know her. And I'm going to big up her and I'm going to feed into her. Because we are the same. She is doing what I want to do. She is achieving the dream. She is living in her truth. She is showing me what I can do. And just like someone on a live a while back mentioned, Madam C.J. Walker was the first Black woman millionaire in America. Guess what? She showed us what our potential is. She showed us our potential in a time when that potential should not have been possible. So if she can do that in that time, what in the world are we capable of? But we have to understand it's not about the money. Let's not pursue the money anymore. Let's pursue the purpose. And the purpose is to be the best you can be. The purpose is to, and that's what I talk about in my book. I was like, I have shifted what I believe purpose is. I'm so curious what I thought purpose was when I wrote this book. I believe it was tapping into what you enjoyed doing as a child and somehow blowing that up. So in our last few minutes, let me see what I enjoyed doing as a child. I loved connecting dots as a child. I used to sit in my grandmother's bathroom and look at her wallpaper. My book and my merch is available at LoneeTaylorArt.com. Right up there, link in my bio. Thank you so much for asking, Faith. My book, this one is also available on Amazon because I know maybe some of my sales are limited because people don't trust LoneeTaylorArt.com. It's trustworthy. I post videos from people buying stuff all the time. But you can also pick this up on Amazon. Just make sure the seller is Lonee Taylor. This book I published in 2008 and there was no Amazon publishing company. So I published it through Infinity. This is available on buybooksontheweb.com. But you have to search the title. Go into the little search bar, change it to title, and search Domino. And it'll come up. I don't know why. I made myself very difficult to find by not putting a space in my name. So I can't even find my name by author name, but just search Domino. You know, but I looked at patterns. I remember when I learned about tithe and offering. And every week I would pray to have $1 to put in the offering plate. So I've always been a giver. I remember my best friend at the time, she had this big pink puffy coat that she was embarrassed of. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. She had this big pink puffy coat. And I know that you can't, when in the replays, you can't see the comments, but it says, I love to read, so I'll definitely be checking this out. And I said, thank you. I truly appreciate the support. She had this big pink puffy coat that she didn't want to wear because she was embarrassed of it. So she would really be walking in a blizzard with no coat on. I am the chick who would take her coat off because I would wear my sister's starter jacket, even though I shouldn't have had it. So I would take my sister's jacket off and I would give her my coat. I literally gave her the clothes off of my back so she had something to wear. This is the person that I was as a child. So I wasn't too far off in this book where I said your purpose is rooted in your childhood. What am I doing right now? I am connecting the dots and I'm seeing patterns in life, and I'm able to help you start seeing the patterns in your life. What am I taking from my childhood? I am taking, I will give my last to somebody. When Afro T-Lock came on our live and mentioned that they were an author, and I said, okay, I'll purchase your book. I spoke without thinking because I didn't have no money to buy her book, but I was like, I told her I would, so I'm going to be a woman of my word. So I went and I bought the book. So I'm still the person that will give their last to somebody else. But I also learned in faith, you give in that which you lack. And I also learned that you give in the area that you want to receive. But I also learned that what you put out, you may not necessarily get back in the same way. So if you think that you are putting out financially, you're going to get back financially, you may not get back financially. But what you may get back is, someone supporting you in another way, somebody uplifting you in another way. Man, I need a new car. Something's wrong with my car. I need money to fix my car. Well, maybe you don't get the money, but maybe you happen to meet someone who's a mechanic who doesn't mind fixing your car for you. You don't know how God is going to show up for you, so you just live in expectancy. That's what they mean, give thanks. I've always had the gratitude, attitude of gratitude and all those different things and your mantras and your affirmations, available at LoneeTaylorArt.com. I've always had those things, and I got it, but I didn't get it, if that means something. But when I got to Jamaica and I saw how everyone was living, not everyone, but I saw how people were living, and they still were so peaceful and so joyful. And I would just look, I only have, in the Jamaican money, I only have $100, and I know that's not enough to buy a bottle of water. I apologize. And the people are like, give thanks. And the bartender said it to me so eloquently. That's why you can't take nothing for granted. And don't take nothing at face value. Everything you hear, process, and use. All the bartender said was, I didn't give you nothing to put down. So for you to put anything down, give thanks. I was like, yo, that changed my life. And he probably thinks he didn't say nothing, but he said something to me. He said, I didn't give you anything to support me, but you still chose to support me because you received something. You received something. That's why you supported me. I didn't do anything to receive this, so anything that you give me, I am in appreciation for. If you give me a smile, if you give me a heart, if you give me a follow, if you give me a share, if you give me a sis, you preaching, if you give me a tip in my tip jar, if you give me a shop at my merch, whatever you give me, I didn't give you nothing. So whatever you gave me, give thanks. So I love to read, so I'll definitely be checking this out. Thank you. I finally learned gratitude in Jamaica. So if we go through life intentionally, wanting to learn and wanting to grow and to be our best selves, we will learn, we will grow, and we will become our best selves. And I know I always start a bunch of stories that I never finish, but damn it, I believe I gave you something. I hope you guys enjoyed our time together. I truly did. Thank you for being consistently available to me so that I didn't feel like I was alone. Thank you for the 11,000 likes. Thank you for the shares of the live. Thank you for stopping in and having a word with me. Thank you for the conversation in the chat box. Thank you for building the community. Creatively Re. Thank you for letting me call you Creative Re all these years, all these months, and never changing it. Yes, 29.2. I don't see what you guys, what is 29.2? Are those the likes? 19.2? Are those the likes? Whoa, I only see 11.2. How many people are in here right now? Because I only see 4. How many do you see? Please say 5,000. 5,000 people are here? 5. I'll take 5. That works for me. That works for me. That is 5 more people that were in here yesterday because I was in here talking to myself. It was 0 for real. Okay, so we're all seeing something different. Well, I like what Vaughn's seeing. Vaughn sees 5 people with 19K likes. So boom, there it goes. I appreciate it. I truly do. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. I will be back tomorrow, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please check out my merch at LoneeTaylorArt.com. I have t-shirts, I have tumblers, I have pillows, Everything has a purpose. Bloop. I'm going to figure it out in a second. Everything has a purpose. Loving the skin that you're in. That's Andy. She is art that I made. I am an artist. My commission started $1,500 plus shipping. I am starting the Sister Support Network. Simply put, if you have a product and you want to trade, where's my book? Let me hold my book up finally. If you have a product and you want to exchange products, thank you so much, Faith, and you want to exchange products and give each other reviews to introduce each other to a new network, introduce each other to our community, hit my DMs. That's what the Sister Support Network is. This is a book that I have to mail out. You know what I'm saying? Check us out. Become a part of the community. Become a part of the sisterhood. And everybody's invited. Because at the end of the day, we are all human. And we rise and we fail. Together we rise. Separate we fall. And right now we're separated and we're failing. But we can link arms and lift each other up off of our knees if we choose. I'm trying to get that book. Sis, it's out there. Whenever it's in your financial means to get it, get it. It ain't going nowhere. It's been here since 2008. It's been here since 2013. And it ain't going nowhere anytime soon. I enjoyed the live once again. And I thank you, Vaughn. I love when I don't want to put no pressure on you. But I love when you hang out the whole time. I like seeing your little fruit basket. All right, y'all. Blessings.